Live from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers meet the hometown Kansas City Chiefs. Under gray skies, a breezy day here in Kansas City, and temperatures in the low 50s with winds at 15 miles per hour. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan with Terry Bradshaw here at Arrowhead Stadium, and we've seen these Kansas City Chiefs at 4-3, still very much in the race in the AFC West. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Terry, at 1-6, a big shakeup this week as Lehman Bennett got rid of Giles and Kevin House and Ron Springs, and there's been a bit of a shakeup here in Kansas City because now Bill Kenny is the quarterback.
Well, what Mackovic wanted to do here in Kansas City, Tim, was give some confidence to his offense. His offense is last in the AFC, and they've not played well, especially throwing the football. Kenny is a guy that likes to throw the football. Now, they say they want to run, but I believe today you can look for Bill Kenny to air it out and restore some faith to this offense.
One thing about Kansas City, they've got an outstanding secondary. They've got 13 interceptions already. They also use that Bears 46 defense, and that could be a problem for Steve Young.
Well, Steve Young is key to today's game. Lehman Bennett has changed things up a little bit. Today you're going to see James Wilder in the one-back set, Jerry Bell at the up-back set, and you can see the featuring of Wilder catching and running the football. But Lehman Bennett has said the real offense is Steve Young and his ability to scramble with the football and throw the football. Today, how Young and Wilder do against the Chief 46 defense is the key to victory for the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Well, the Buccaneers have won the toss, Terry, so they'll have the ball first today, and it'll be Nick Lowry kicking off for Kansas City. Deep man is Nathan Wansley along with Phil Freeman. Freeman will be a starter at wide receiver today for the departed Kevin House. And Lowry nails one right through the end zone. That ball came down at the end line. And a somewhat sparse crowd here at Arrowhead today, even though their team is at 4-3. They started out at 3-1 and have slipped, and they did that a year ago. And so some doubters, no doubt, here in Kansas City. Steve Young will lead out the Buccaneers from the 20-yard line, and he will take on this defensive unit. Art Still, Bill Moss, and Pete Koch, solid across the front. Cooper, Hackett, Radisick, and Paul. Cooper and Paul are substitutes there, but a solid secondary: Lewis, Burris, Cherry, and Kevin Ross. First down, a slot formation to the right for Tampa Bay, and it's James Wilder as they return to the one-back offense this week, although Lehman Bennett did tell us we would see Wilder and Wansley together at some point today, but they will primarily go with Wilder, and then Jerry Bell will be the U-back today. You see Jerry Bell listed there. He is a tight end, but playing in that kind of roving position. James Wilder, and then Phil Freeman and Carter are the wide receivers. Taylor, Yarno, Grimes, Farrell, Heller, and Calvin McGee moves into Jimmy Giles' spot at tight end. The second-year man from Southern, just 7 catches so far. Jerry Bell has yet to catch a pass in 7 games, so we'll see a lot of things different today for Tampa Bay. Carter in motion. Give us to Wilder again on 2nd and 7. Wilder has a hole. Pulled down from behind near midfield, and a first down, Tampa Bay. Albert Lewis made the stop, but not before a 24-yard gain.
Things to see here, Tim. Number one is Wilder in the one-back set, a little counter option as he breaks the line of scrimmage. That's the thing Wilder does best, his power, his explosiveness. Now change 32 to 46 and put Nathan Wansley in there, and you have a touchdown.
Well, that's the difference in their raw speed, of course, and we may see Wansley in that same role, perhaps running the same play. Wilder has been bothered with a bruised sternum, but now almost back to full strength. Play action. And it's complete out to Jerry Bell, his first catch of this 1986 season. Lloyd Burris made the tackle. Bell, the 5-year man from Arizona State, an injured reserve for part of last season, back this year, and with Giles, the starting tight end, and Calvin McGee behind him, Bell has really had virtually no play. It is 2nd and a yard after a 9-yard gain from Steve Young to Jerry Bell. Now they have Bell lined up in the backfield with Wilder. Slot left. Wilder again. And Wilder has the first down over the 40-yard line to the Kansas City 39.
Thing you like to see about Bell, 82, one of the reasons they went back to the one-back set, Wilder, with Jerry Bell, is that Bell gives them the big blocking back that Wansley or Wilder wouldn't for one of the other backs. And that time you saw Bell go inside, seal off the backside, Tim, something that the smaller backs would have been unable to do. That time Wilder was able to get the first down.
The Bucks coming off their worst game of the season a week ago, 38-7 defeat at the hands of New Orleans, and hoping for better things today against Kansas City. Wilder picking his way for a gain of about 5, takes a tough hit. And that was from Lloyd Burris, the 210-pound strong safety out of Maryland. What a week he had last week in the squeaker over San Diego. 3 interceptions, 2 of them for touchdowns.
Typical.
34.
He's the typical strong safety, or the type that you like to see. Big, 6'1", 6'2", 210. Strong, can support the run, can manhandle the tight ends and run with them all over the field.
It leaves a 2nd and 5 for the Buccaneers. Again, Bell lined up in the backfield. You'll see him on the wing. You'll see him as a double tight end. And in this position, blocking for Wilder. Wilder short of the first down, gets to the 31-yard line. Art Still, the left defensive end. Outstanding veteran from Kentucky, a number 1 round pick in 1978.
Steve Young told me yesterday that I asked him about the Kansas City 46, their Bear 46, and he said the thing that we'll do today, Terry, is that we're going to spread out our offensive formations and force them to reduce their linebackers, get them out of that blitzing scheme, and allow us to run and throw.
They had a lot of respect for that defensive scheme. Let's see if they can come up with that offensive style to countermine it. Young has a man open, Gerald Carter, and a fine defensive play by Kevin Ross. The little guy, 5'9" cornerback, went up there against the 6'1" Carter and made a perfect play.
In the 46 defense, you have a free safety, Daron Cherry. It's important for Young to get the football quickly. You can see the center of your screen, Cherry making a break on the ball, but the ball is behind Carter, and Ross is able to make the stop.
So it brings up a field goal opportunity for Donald Igwebuike, and it's going to be a 50-yard try. They'll spot it at the 40-yard line. Just checking the wind for you. The wind is behind them. Igwebuike, 8 of 11 on field goals with a long of 46. And he's got it. A 50-yard field goal, wind assisted, for the Nigerian Donald Igwebuike. And Tampa Bay has moved in front on their opening offensive series, 3-0 over Kansas City. Everything is fine. And this is holding together here. I'll put a little crazy glue in this when I get home. They usually glue those in. I don't know why they didn't. Did they? Okay. Thank you. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, how you doing? You all right? All right, hey Tim, how about that, huh? 46 all the way.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
They're staying with their 46 every play that time, David. You can also some point in time.
We got a blackboard for you, by the way.
Oh, wonderful blackboard. Yeah, I'll draw that baby up and show people what they're doing. Maybe.
Can we haul that out when you get a chance? Get it. Tim Ryan with Terry Bradshaw, where you see Donald Igwebuike about to kick it off. The Tampa Bay Bucks in front. Boyce Green and Emil Harry are the deep men awaiting the kickoff. Big and Jeff Smith, number 42, and Emil Harry. And, well, actually 3 of them all strung across. Unusual lineup. They've got that entire goal line covered. Igwebuike, officially a 49-yard field goal. He hits the line drive, and it is hard to handle. It gets through Smith into the end zone. And it'll be a touchback. So Igwebuike with a line drive kickoff. as the Chiefs starting from their own 20-yard line. And Bill Kenny, who came in to start the second half last week against San Diego, has the start today, named Wednesday as the new quarterback ahead of Todd Blackledge. He'll face Tyrone Keys, David Logan, and Bob Nelson. Keys and Nelson for the injured Cannon and Holmes. Browner, Davis, Brantley, and Washington, the linebackers. Castile, Swope, Craig Curry starting for Ivory Sully again this week, and Rod Jones, the SMU rookie, on the corner. Herman Hurd on first down has some room out the left side and picks up 8 yards. It'll leave 2nd and 2. Craig Curry, the strong safety, made the stop. As we take a look at the Chiefs' offensive lineup, Hurd and Mike Pruitt, the veteran at fullback, Henry Marshall and Stephon Page, the wide receivers. We expect to see Carlos Carson in that Marshall spot sometime. Eatman, Buddy, Donnelly, Addix, Baldinger, and Walt Arnold, the tight end. 2nd and less than 2 for a first down. The Bucs have had trouble against the run with the injuries to Cannon and Holmes, and Kansas City went at him. Now the pass, and it is caught. What a catch by Henry Marshall. Took it away from Jeremiah Castile, and Curry finally made the stop.
This pass should have easily been knocked down. That time, Jeremiah Castile makes a move for the football and simply missed it. Simple little play action, fools no one. As you can see, linebackers are still dropping deep in their zones. Now there's a wobbly ball out in the corner, and Castile has his man totally surrounded. Tim, he went for the football, or went for the man, forgot about the football. Great catch by Marshall.
Henry Marshall, the veteran from Missouri, 5th round choice in 1976. First down at the 45 of Kansas City. Herman Hurd picks up about 4, and John Makovic told us, Terry, that he would like to get their running attack going, and yet he knew full well that the strength of Kenny is getting that ball downfield.
Well, the last 2 weeks they've rushed for 72 yards and 64 yards. Not the kind of rushing attack that's going to scare anyone to death. Now, it's very interesting to watch today as we notice they're attacking Keys, who will be 98, the left defensive end for Tampa Bay. He is primarily a pass specialist, a pass rushing specialist, but today he's forced to start the whole game.
Tyrone Keys, the former Bear, usually plays just on the passing down. And with Bob Nelson out the right side, he's a nose tackle playing over there for the injured Ron Holmes. Mike Pruitt picks up about 4 yards. It'll leave 2nd and 6. Well, let's call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll leave 3rd down, and 4 to go at the 39-yard line of the Tampa Bay Bucs. Well, there is the key matchup today, and I guess you'd have to say something's got to give in that respect. Does the edge go to either team when you're looking at that one?
Well, I'll tell you, it makes things awfully exciting, the worst against the worst.
3 wide receivers, and Boyce Green in the lineup.
Blitz
on the passing down, and he's got Marshall again. Marshall shakes off the tackle. Still going loose, ball out of bounds. It'll be Kansas City ball at the 15-yard line of Tampa Bay.
Isolated Rod Jones, number 22, the right corner on Marshall, a big, strong wide receiver, 89. Blitz, all-out blitz as the linebackers. Washington up inside. Kenny, plenty of time, goes out to Marshall, one-on-one. Now there's the hit, but now you see the strength of Marshall as he knocks Jones off, and then finally Swope has to come over, and then Jones comes up and helps out, makes the tackle.
Well, the rookie Rod Jones, not a big kid at 175 pounds, but a very hard hitter. He just let that one get away from him. So Kansas City, first down. The ball is at the 17-yard line of the Bucs, and early movement. Logan, the nose man, was he drawn? We'll find out from referee Ben Dright.
Kenny was quoted in the papers saying, Tim, that the thing he will add to the game today is his experience and his ability to change the plays at the line of scrimmage. He will change the cadence.
Defense come over, made contact, 5 yards.
He will change the cadence. With that time, he got Logan to come off sides, and then his ability to make the adjustments during the game in pressure situations. So right now you can see that the cadence was a big thing that Kenny was responsible for then.
Well, Kenny got him 5 yards with that. He's now at the 12-yard line, 1st and 5, and Kansas City threatening here on their first offensive possession. Wide to the left comes Marshall. Page out to the right, and they shift to the eye and then back to the pro set. So lots of window dressing. Mike Pruitt, the battering ram inside the 10, picks up a couple. The veteran from Purdue, leading rusher with only 251 yards coming into the game. Jackie Walker made the stop. Pruitt went over the 7,000-yard mark for his career this season. At age 32, has been a real asset since coming over from Buffalo after 9 years with the Browns, dropped by Buffalo last year, and one of those fine character builders, the kind of player you like to have in your locker room. Mike Pruitt. It is second down. They need 2 to get a first down. In motion is Stephon Page. And they give it to Boyce Green, and he is dropped immediately by Chris Washington, the linebacker, number 51.
Washington will be coming right in the front of your screen. 51, as you can see, the guard and tackles pulling. He reads them, crashes down the line of scrimmage, gets into the backfield, and knocks Boyce Green, number 40, down for a loss.
Pruitt and Hurd come back in now for third down. They need 5 for a first down at the 7-yard line of the Bucks. Line of scrimmage out at the 12. Washington with a big defensive play. Lots of time for Kenny, and he hits the tight end. Arnold inside the 5 to the 4-yard line, a first and goal for Kansas City. Craig Curry made the tackle.
The key to this pass is the eyes of Kenny. As you notice, he has Page and Marshall to his right. He'll come out, take a short drop, and notice his head is turned to the right. The safeties, they key that. They go left. Kenny plants, turns around, and finds his tight end for the first down.
Carl Morgan has come in defensively. They've got 4 down linemen here as it's first and goal at the 4-yard line. Larry Moriarty is in at fullback. Goal from the 3. Moriarty trying to get to the corner and doesn't make it. A diving tackle by Craig Curry, number 31, kept Moriarty out of the end zone. He came over from the Houston Oilers in a trade a couple of weeks ago.
Thing you try to do with your corners and safeties and linebackers as they penetrate at the goal line, Tim, is get that pressure on them and force these backs to bow backwards. Get them wider, then the pursuit catches up. That time it caught up with Moriarty.
Ryan Joswiak, the Chiefs' number 1 pick from West Virginia, comes in for some extra blocking here. Second and goal at the 2. 10th play of this Kansas City drive.
Kenny likes to play action here.
And Jeff Smith, a third down back, is in there, number 42. He can catch it. They go to Moriarty. Make it Smith, pardon me, Jeff Smith, and he is stopped with a flag down on the play. Big defensive surge by the Bucks, and it's led by Bob Nelson, number 71. We mentioned he's a nose tackle, forced to play outside with a knee injury to Ron Holmes. Nelson from Miami and the USFL. Let's see what the infraction is.
When everyone is bunched up at the goal line, you can always expect a quarterback like Kenny coming in, wanting to make something happen. Everyone bunched up to him, so play action, cross those tight ends, bring those backs out, and then pop that football for a touchdown.
Defense was offside. We're going to go half the distance. 98 was offside.
Ben Dreitz says Tyrone Keys was offside, and we're going to go half the distance. And the ball now is placed inside the 1-yard line, second and goal. Out come Addix and Jeff Smith. 3 tight ends, Arnold, Hayes, and Paul Kaufman. Pruitt and Moriarty are the running backs. And they give us to Pruitt. Touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown plunge for Mike Pruitt culminates the opening offensive series for Kansas City.
You're going to see in the center of your screen to your left now, Pruitt off right tackle, Baldinger acts the right guard, and a good lead blocked by Moriarty. He kicks out the corner, and then a nice little run by Pruitt to get the touchdown. Nothing fancy, kind of simple. Certainly wasn't a play action, was it?
Not at all, but was in the end zone.
Yeah, hey, that's right.
And they've been trying to emphasize a little return to a rushing offense that hasn't been there, so that's a confidence builder, bulling it in from the 1-yard line. Nick Lowry, who simply doesn't miss them, has 100 in a row in the point after department. Make it 101. So the Kansas City Chiefs come up with a touchdown in their first offensive series and lead 7-3 with 3:52 to play.
It might kill that horse today.
I think we're going to see some points here today.
I probably should draw this baby up while I got some chalk. We got chalk over there.
Yeah, well, I hope so. We got
Any
some
chalk?
chalk on their board.
Here, hand me that board.
Maybe we can set it up on one of those
Set
chairs.
it up right here. Set it up right there. Let me draw this little jewel up real quickly. Okay. I'm gonna put the numbers in here. This will be.
Andy, you might be thinking about, with all those cameras you got, which one we're going to use for the Bradshaw blackboard. I know you got 10 cameras today. This is just short of the Super Bowl coverage. Tim Ryan with Terry Bradshaw at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where each team has scored on its first possession. Tampa Bay with a 49-yard field goal by Igwebuike to open scoring. And then the Kansas City Chiefs, using up 6:50 on the clock, going 80 yards in 10 plays and a 1-yard touchdown run by Mike Pruitt. Lowry will kick it off. On the opening kickoff, he knocked it right to the end line against the wind. Bill Freeman is back, along with Nathan Wansley, and again, he's almost at the end line, where Freeman says, hey, that makes it a long way for me to run. I think I'll just leave it right here and start from the 20. So Tampa Bay with Steve Young bringing them out. We'll try to move the ball as effectively as they did in the first series, and this time come up with a major score. We see New Orleans ahead of the Jets, 3-0. Miami and Indianapolis, that game at Indianapolis sold out there today. Green Bay in front of San Francisco. First down for the Bucs. This time Jerry Bell wide to the right. They go to the short side with Wilder. Wilder met by a linebacker and a couple other red-shirted Chiefs and driven back. Initial contact by Dino Hackett, the rookie from Appalachian State, their number 2 choice, and Pete Koch, who came over from Cincinnati in a waiver deal. Ron Cherry getting in on it.
Dino Hackett is one of these young men that they say reminds everyone of one of my teammates, Jack Lambert, except they say he's just a little bit faster. He has that same nasty attitude. I guess the only really difference is Dino still has all his teeth.
6'3", 225-pounder. Yeah, they feel they really got a gem there. Chiefs without 2 starting linebackers. We'll tell you about that. Wilder trying the left side again, and they shut him down. And just his second effort got him a yard, maybe yard and a half. Deron Cherry, the safety number 20, with the linebacker Scott Radisick.
The key to the 46 defense, the Bear 46, is the linebackers and the safeties. As you can see, the flow is going to go in your screen to the left, and now you'll see the flow of the linebackers and the safeties, which makes it extremely hard to block and run successfully against the 46 defense. Look at that. 9 guys right there making the tackle.
Third down and a long 2. Tampa Bay in their own territory at the 28. Young gets time. Now runs out of it, literally. Flag is down. Has the first down yardage. Sliding into the 47-yard line, but a flag in the backfield of the Buccaneers.
Lehman Bennett said the best pass offense, the best offense we have is scrambling of Steve Young and the passing of Steve Young.
A hold signaled against the Bucs after a 19-yard gain by Steve Young. That'll be wiped out. And that is the kind of discouraging play when you're a 1-6 team that coaches just don't like to see.
But Tim, you know, even though there's a penalty here, everyone notices now we don't contain
Offense holding number 72. Back 10, third down.
If we don't contain Steve Young, this is the thing that he's going to do to us all day long. It's like throwing a long pass. They say, hey, just throw it down there. We don't care if it's complete. Let's stretch out the defense and then make them respect the long ball, and then we'll throw underneath. Now they have to respect the running of Steve Young. Now they won't pressure him so much, keep him inside, get soft on their ends, and allow him time to throw the football.
You see Steve Young with 188 yards rushing, second only to David Archer in the quarterback department. Leonard Griffin has come in defensively, and 2 more defensive backs for Kansas City on this 3rd and long. 3rd and 13. Gets time now, has to step out of the pocket, and is dropped for a sack. Good coverage downfield by that excellent Kansas City secondary. Art still gets the sack for the Chiefs.
The key to this pass is not necessarily the pass rush, but the thing that made it so effective was the outstanding coverage by the defensive backs. Man for man, that's the signal. We have you man for man. Look at this. No one is open. Outstanding job that time by the Chiefs secondary.
Lewis, Burris, Cherry, and Ross. And so it'll be Frank Garcia punting from the end zone. Deep man is Jeff Smith, waiting for it at the Kansas City 40-yard line. Long count by the Bucs. Garcia, short punt off the side of his foot. Takes a Bucs bounce, but taking it midfield to the 39-yard line. And the Chiefs with good field position. Irvin Randall made the tackle on Jeff Smith, but Kansas City is in Tampa territory, and they lead 7-3 first period. Yeah, we'll see if he's in there now.
Yo! Yep, I like it. Yeah, it's excellent, excellent, yes.
He's back in, did you say? Okay. Yeah, he's back in, though. Yo, got it. Nobody got a hand on that punt, did they? He just shanked it?
No, nobody touched it.
He's got the wind with him. He just shanked it. How about Jeff Davis? If you can find him out there, he is. Yeah, let's give you old Jeff there. Tough guys in the NFL. Dislocate his finger. Just go over there, straighten that baby out, and throw him back out there. Is it Browner or Walker out here? Browner. Jeff Davis, linebacker for Tampa Bay, suffered a dislocated finger and just missed about 2 minutes. He's right back out there. And Kansas City in good offensive position here to Moriarty from Kenny. A flag down, a late one, as Moriarty, the fullback out of the backfield, was very close to first down yardage.
Actually, that time, Kenny can blame himself for this holding call because he held the football too long. Moriarty was open. Instantly, he cleared the line of scrimmage. Kenny looked at him and said, no, I want to go deep. He held it. He was covered deep. Then he came back.
Offensive holding number 71. First
Brad
down.
Buddy is the guilty party, the veteran guard out of USC.
Anyway, he held it. He came back, Tim, threw to Moriarty. Therefore, Buddy said, hey, I can't hold this guy out forever, and gets a holding call.
Well, that's the kind of pressure that the Buccaneers would like to produce, knowing that they're in there with two subs at the defensive ends in their three-man front, Bob Nelson and Tyrone Keys. So Buddy had to put a grab on him. Draw play. Big hole for Herman Hurd. Hit by Curry, but he has no, he's short of the first down. He got to the 35-yard line. 14-yard pickup for Herman Hurd, the three-year man out of Southern Colorado. At just 164 yards rushing coming into the game. We pointed out a rather anemic rushing attack by Kansas City through the first part of this season. But Herman Hurd, they feel, is a guy who has talent to run the football. Showed some of it there. 2nd down and 6. Kenny is 3 for 3 passing, setting up the first Chiefs score. Short drop, and throws it behind Marshall. Not a good throw from Kenny there. Henry Marshall coming toward the middle of the field, and Kenny throwing it outside. Coming down to the end of the first period.
Kenny punching the top of his helmet saying you, then he touches his chest. Number 9 says me. You open, me throw bad ball. I guess that's how you interpret that.
I think that's probably a pretty good guess. 3rd down and 6. Well, if there are early big plays, here's one for the Buccaneers here. They've got to stop the Chiefs. The Chiefs stopped the Bucs with the help of that holding penalty on the last series. Going deep, and a battle for the ball all the way down the field. Now, who's going to get the call here? Castile covering Carlos Carson. That could be offensive interference.
They're going to call that on the defense because Castile never turned his head around to look for the football. Carson did, Tim.
Boy, there was a lot of early grabbing going upfield, however.
Look at this. Dead wrong. They're calling it on Carson. I would have thought for sure they would have called it on Castile.
Well, your point is good that he didn't get his head back, but it was well before the ball was even thrown that Carlos Carson was pushing off, trying to get loose.
Everyone tries to throw deep on Castile for some reason or another. Now, there's the ball in the air. Now, Carson and Castile are fighting for the football. Okay, I see.
Offense pass interference, number 88. They're going to decline a penalty. It's 4th down.
That's a good call, I think, Terry, because even while the ball was in the air on that camera view, you couldn't really see, but they had already had contact with Carson trying to fight his way past Castile.
Yeah, if Carson would have had to go through Castile to make the reception. I think Carson was trying to get the football, and he just ran over Castile, who happened to be in his way. They called it on the offense.
So the field goal try for Nick Lowry will be from the 43-yard line, a 53-yard attempt into the wind. Kenny will hold. Lowry's long of the season, 47 yards. 53-yard attempt into the wind. Lowry, 7 of 8 in the field goal department this season. Will not make it. Short and wide to the right for Lowry from 53 yards away, and that concludes the first period here at Arrowhead Stadium. So the Bucs are able to hold and will head into the second quarter with Kansas City on top 7-3.
Good stuff.
Thank you,
David. Pretty interesting
if it's
call.
Inside the line at all, I mean, it can be 52 and 10 inches, and they call it a 52-yarder. Is that the NFL regulation? Must be.
Castile
that doesn't make any sense to me. It ought to be if it's more than a half, just like you'd say 52.5, flip it up, make it 53. Yeah, right.
Good point, Tim. Good point. Yay. Let's try to get Jerry Bell. You know, maybe we can get Bell and McGee and kind of tie in the McGee-Bell stuff.
Well, yeah. Also, if you follow Bell a little bit, you can show what his role is now.
He's a wide receiver.
Yeah,
he's a blocking back.
Places,
he's a short yardage guy. Gee whiz. And he still hasn't caught a pass.
Yeah, he has. Caught one.
Did he?
Yeah. First of the season.
Like I said, he still caught a pass. That must have been when I was coming my 500-yard trip over here.
That must have been. What are you drawing up there, the 46?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We got the Bradshaw blackboard.
I got the...
Marley Velda's in, did you say? Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw as we begin the second quarter here at Arrowhead Stadium. The Buccaneers have made 2 changes in the offensive line. More portents, perhaps, of things to come. J.D. Marleville, the rookie from Maryland, is in at left tackle for Rob Taylor, and Rick Mallory is in at left guard for George Yarno. In motion, Gerald Carter behind the ball. First down from the 35. Wilder slipped as he tried to turn the corner, but the Kansas City Chiefs had 4 red shirts waiting for him anyway, led by Dino Hackett, number 56.
Wilder has to be happy with the idea of being back in the one-back sets. It's a set, Tim, that he's very familiar with. In the last 3 years in Tampa, has had his greatest success running the football by himself, all alone.
Well, and with Bell there as a blocking back, that has to be more effective than either Wilder or Wansley would be blocking for each other. And we'll see what the effect is. A gain of a yard, 2nd and 9. And now Bell shifts up to the tight end left. You'll see him all over the place. Play action. Young up the middle. It's complete. A good catch against tight coverage. Carter with Lewis hanging all over him. Albert Lewis, the 4-year man from Grambling. Lewis had interesting comments describing the secondary of Kansas City. He says that with Ross Burris and we're like the control cops, and Duron Cherry is our switchboard operator. Without him, we wouldn't know where the crimes were. Well, he knew where that crime was, but he couldn't stop it.
I tell you, it's hard to stop a pass like that. Steve Young spent a great deal of his past offseason lifting weights. It's obviously he's much stronger. His football has a lot of zip on it, and that time he needed all the zip he could to complete it.
Just short of the first down, 3rd and about a football, and Young dives for the first down yardage at the 47-yard line of the Buccaneers.
I used to love that play when I played. We'd get in the huddle, and everybody knew we were going to run a quarterback sneak, and so I'd get in there and I'd say, okay, we're going to get our best back running. Our power back will be taking the ball this time. Everybody would laugh, but you get to run those little quarterback sneaks and get that ball, get over that line of scrimmage and get you a first down. Looks good, feels good too.
How many times were you stopped trying for that?
I don't think I was ever stopped. That's just me
That's
talking.
at least your memory.
Yeah, right. I don't want to think I was stopped.
Selective memory. First down, Buccaneers, 47-yard line. Carter in the slot left. Young in some trouble and is sacked. Sack number 2 by the Chiefs, Art Still, number 67.
Now the version of the 46 is to confuse the line blocking and send 6, 7, 8 people. But the Chiefs aren't doing that. They're just rushing 4 guys. That time the offensive line breaks down as Steele will come in. Now Young trying to make something happen, steps up, but too late. Steele gets inside 67 and makes the sack. 2
sacks by Kansas City, both of them by Art Still. 2nd down. 11 and a half, they call it, for the Bucs at their own 45-yard line. Deeper drop by Young. Finds his man McGee, who has the ball at the 45-yard line, short of the first down, but he is at the 45 of Kansas City.
Soft hands, soft hands. Guy says they have the greatest hands, softest hands. His
soft
brother
body,
Bobby,
too. He's got a soft body.
Well, he's lost about 40. Put on 50. He lost 40 of it, but the guy has these great soft hands. Big man with those hands, and his brother Bobby down in New Orleans was the guy responsible for it because he used to say, come on, McGee, let's get out here and throw the football, and he'd catch it. Didn't want to, but he would do it. It's paid off for him.
Leaves 3rd and a yard. That's his 8th catch for Calvin McGee. Starting today on the tight end spot held for so long by Jimmy Giles. Wilder has the first down, spinning on a second effort. Looked like he had it on the first thrust, but was taking no chances. Spun off and got the first down at the 43 of Kansas City. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for an update. All right, Brent Musburger, the Bears trying to bounce back from that humiliating defeat last week at the hands of Minnesota. And McMahon back at quarterback today. First down, Buccaneers here in Kansas City. Wilder trying to get wide, now cuts it back up inside and picked up only a couple to the 42. Again, solid defensive work by the Chiefs on that play. At the bottom was linebacker number 55, Lewis Cooper, along with Art Still. And Terry, you know, Cooper and Whitney Paul, both substitutes. Cooper for Ken McAllister is on injured reserve, has been playing pretty well on the left side. Whitney Paul replacing Tim Cofield this week. Cofield down with a knee injury. The rookie from Elizabeth City State has been outstanding, along with Dino Hackett, the other rookie linebacker. 2nd down and 9. Wilder up to 52 yards already. Young hits McGee, and McGee on the run with a perfectly timed pass as a first down.
One of the things you look for in a young quarterback is outside of his natural physical ability is his poise under fire. That time Steve Young showed me a lot. He's going to drop back. He's going to set up. He's looking to the left. He's keying the free safety. Where's he going? He looks to the left. Now he steps up. Boom, he fires the football into McGee. Good catch, but credit Steve Young with doing an outstanding job of collecting himself and keeping his poise.
Buccaneers at the 27-yard line now of Kansas City. Kit Lathrop has come in, number 70, to make 4 down linemen as the Bucs approach what they call the red zone. Quick drop by Young. Sideline complete to Jerry Bell. His second catch of the day, just short of the first down. Right near the marker, it'll be about a half-yard short. Albert Lewis drove him out.
Well, they also drove them out of the 46 because their version is suddenly going out the window. Played this plain old ordinary 34 defense, dropped off into zones, went to the left side. Bell gets open on the right side. Young finds him.
It leaves second and less than a yard. The ball now spotted just inside the 18 of Kansas City. The Chiefs lead it 7-3. We're in the second quarter here at Arrowhead. Wilder, loose ball. James Wilder looked like he never had full possession of the exchange from Steve Young. Kit Lathrop put a hit on him, and the ball popped loose. Who got it? Lathrop, one of 3 USFLers signed in the offseason as Lamar Hunt opened his wallet once again, trying to improve his Chiefs. Picking up Irv Eatman, Mark Addix, 2 starters, and Lathrop, the backup defensive player. And it looks like it is Tampa Bay ball. Ron Heller evidently able to come up with the loose ball. A break for the Bucs there to hold on.
We'll take a look again. Bell in motion. Handoff deep to Wilder as everyone's driving to the left. Now James, now you see it in his left arm, but the penetration of number 70 that time, Kosh knocks it out. Heller recovers.
Kit Lathrop knocking the ball loose, and Heller coming up with it, so it is 3rd down, 1.5 yards. Big play for Tampa Bay in the early going. Calvin McGee, and he drops the ball. Kansas City has it at the 7-yard line. Radisick came up with the ball. It was stripped by Cooper.
Takes soft hands to catch it. Takes firm control to hang on to it. A blitz coming from the outside. Young stepping up once again. Finds McGee with the football. Right, look at the traffic. 3 guys. Now McGee makes an excellent catch, but then he forgets to hang on to the football.
So Kansas City, with the first turnover of the game, has it at their own 6-yard line.
You know, I'm sitting here and I'm going, how come I can't see the numbers on these guys? I don't even have my glasses on.
Well, that's one reason.
I can't see it.
Where are they?
I keep saying, I wonder why I can't see these numbers on these guys. I'm missing calls and everything. I'm just guessing who's been coming in there from positions. Holy mackerel.
Makes a difference, huh?
Oh,
Put the windows on.
hello. All right. So that puts Moss is out, and so we're going to
Lathrop
see.
probably is in on the nose there.
Well, Eric Holly is his backup, so we'll just have to see.
Has he got the World Series flu? Anybody check?
Yeah, the World Series flu. He didn't have the flu when we saw him Saturday.
No.
Gee, Christmas.
Billboards. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw were back at Arrowhead Stadium, where the first turnover has stopped a Tampa Bay drive. They trail 7-3. It's Kansas City ball, starting from their own 6-yard line. Bill Kenny, 3 of 5 passing. leading to the Mike Pruitt touchdown. Now starting deep in his own zone. Pruitt plows out over the 10 to the 11-yard line, where he's met by Tyrone Keys, the rangy defensive end, 6'7", 270-pounder.
Key to that play that time that allowed the running back to cut back inside was the play by the center, Rick Donnelly, as he exploded off the ball and took total control of Logan, number 76, the nose tackle, drove him 6 yards down the field. As you can see, Logan and Donnelly, look at this, underneath him, driving him off the football and allowing the running back to come up on his inside. Excellent job by the center.
Second down, a long 5. Herman Hurd stopped at the 15, and the ball came loose. And it is Tampa ball. The Buccaneers get it right back. Chris Washington, the linebacker, number 51, came up with a fumble from Herman Hurd. So Tampa Bay, having just coughed up the ball deep in Kansas City territory, gets it right back. Chris Washington, Lehman Bennett said, has been playing very solidly out there on the right side, the third-year man from Iowa State. And these linebackers have really had to work overtime. Brantley, Davis, Browner, and Washington, because of the injuries to Cannon and Holmes, the two solid defensive ends of the Bucs, who have been playing, well, Cannon playing with a broken fibula, finally put on the injured reserve, and Ron Holmes with a knee injury that's been bothering him and hasn't been playing the last couple of weeks. So it is first down. Wilder trying to get wide. Good reaction out the left side, and it was Dino Hackett, number 56, making the contact.
Wilder's job as a running back is not his strength is not outside, Tim. His strength is to stretch wide and then cut back against the flow. And this time the flow was not inside. They kept him from going inside, forcing him out wide. No good. 1 yard gain.
So it is 2nd and 9. Buccaneers. Ball at the 10-yard line. Bell lines up tight end left. Freeman in motion. Young, Calvin McGee with a touchdown. Perfect play from Steve Young, and McGee, who dropped the ball on the last offensive surge, comes up with a touchdown catch.
Excellent job. Young sprinting out to the left, giving himself time and line, giving that protection. He gets out wide to threat now the run or the pass. Freeman out in the flat, pulls up the corner. Now Young gets McGee in behind the linebackers, finds him, and then on the run, zings the football in there. Very hard to do. Excellent coverage, actually, and a very good catch by McGee.
Terry, let me ask you about that technique there. He's running hard out to the left and has to throw back in the opposite direction. That's got to be difficult to do. All your momentum going the other way. Igwebuike with the point after. Well, I want to hear your opinion about that and how you manage to keep your balance on the play. We'll be back in a moment with Tampa Bay in front, 10-7. That's got to be tough, huh? I mean, he's going hard this way and throwing back across his body.
It's actually running full speed. Actually, it is easier because you're squaring your shoulders up and you're throwing back. It's easier than coming this way and throwing across your shoulders. You see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Now, if you're throwing back here, now you're square. You're square,
right.
And it's easier.
Hey, can you get that camera on old Bradshaw?
I can show you how you do it.
Yeah, hey,
come out here.
hey,
he's throwing this way, or now he's throwing back and he's square.
Watch this. Hey, Andy, you with us?
Back.
Yeah, look at this. We got an idea. We're going to have Bradshaw show how you do that.
Left-handed.
Left-handed, like Steve O. Young-O. Okay.
Leads with the right
Razzle
shoulder.
dazzle. Razzle dazzle.
Square. You have to move your head.
Boom. This is for you, roast beef. Check. Okay, you got it. Super. It might be nice if you can, maybe you can marry it up with the replay of Young throwing the ball. I don't know whether you can do that, but just a thought.
I'm in slow motion.
Kicking off for Tampa Bay.
We're back at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City under gray skies and cool temperatures. The warm weather Buccaneers at 1-6 have taken the lead over Kansas City. The Chiefs at 4-3, just 2 games out on the AFC West. They need this win today. Buccaneers need it for pride and respect. Confidence building. Igwebuike's kickoff. Taken by number 40, and that is Boyce Green, reserve running back, brings it up to the 24-yard line. Now, Terry, I was asking you about the difficulty or non-difficulty of Steve Young throwing back across his body as he did there.
When you're running to your left or your right and you're going to throw to the left and you lead with your shoulder and you're throwing like this, Tim, but if the receiver's coming this way and you square your shoulders up and you actually end up better prepared and more accurate back to the inside. And that time, that was a good example of Young throwing back, squaring the shoulders up, and getting the ball into McGee.
All right. Well, it was a touchdown pass. Young to Calvin McGee, who made up for his earlier error. Let's see what Kenny and company can do. And it's complete to Henry Marshall, continuing to pick on Jeremiah Castile. And a pickup of 9 yards on the play, out near the 35-yard line.
Something the Chiefs, Tim, are going to want to do today is isolate Marshall on Castile. Marshall will always be the split receiver into the short side of the field because he's so big and strong. He puts a lot of pressure on the cornerbacks because most teams take their zone wide side, isolating the backs one-on-one. Look for him to catch a lot of passes.
2nd and a yard. They have one back in there, and that is Boyce Green, former Cleveland Brown. Came over on draft day, Kansas City, and he has the ball. And he dropped the ball. And who touched it last? I believe it'll be Kansas City ball. Yes, it will. The ball went out of bounds as the Bucks. Swope didn't see it in time. He was being blocked by a Kansas City Chief, and he was unable to get possession of the ball before it went out of bounds.
Now, the football should come back to the spot of where it was fumbled and not where the spot of where it went out of bounds.
And that's exactly what they're doing,
As
Jerry.
you can see, Irv Eatman, 75, 71 Buddy. Buddy picks up the first guy. Now watch Eatman outside. Now look at this. Eatman gets knocked back by 58 Davis, and you ask me, why? Very simply, Davis is smaller. He got up underneath Eatman and delivered the blow.
It was actually Castile who had the best chance to get it for the Bucks, but he did not get possession before it went out. And as you pointed out, Terry, the ball spotted back where it came loose from Boyce Green, who had no contact. He just coughed it up. But the Chiefs maintained possession. Page in motion. Play action. Kenny intended for Marshall. Out of bounds, incomplete. Coming up on the coverage, Rod Jones, number 22. Did he unload that one, Terry?
Well, he unloaded it enough that the football, he knew it wasn't going to be completed. Is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm
I don't think he threw it away. I think he kind of said, halfway I'm going to throw it away. All right, just halfway, maybe we can get a great catch.
Look at that, Green Bay in front of San Francisco. The game being played in Milwaukee
Whoa,
today.
look at those Steelers.
The mighty Steelers out in front of Cincinnati. 2nd and 10. Kenny intercepted. Craig Swope, the rookie, takes it inside the 20-yard line. The rookie from Illinois, boy, did he smell that one.
Kenny's having trouble hanging on to the football. The football, the last 3 throws, has been actually doggone near end over end. That football was poorly thrown as Kenny gets set. Now, plenty of time, but the football is not tipped. It's just flutters out there, and Swope makes a great move on the football. Now he's setting up his blockers. He said, come on, guys, give me some help here. Sets them up too late.
Well, that secondary of the Buccaneers has not had too much opportunity to come up with intercepts, and he's going to hang on to that ball. Indeed, it is number 1 on the season for the Buccaneers secondary. They have 4 altogether, all by linebackers. So Craig Swope, the rookie from Illinois, comes up with a big one. First down, Buccaneers inside the 20 of Kansas City. Steve Young, and it's almost intercepted the other way. It was Kevin Ross, number 31. The pass intended for Gerald Carter. Not a good throw by Young there, Terry.
Well, it was a good throw by Steve Young, but it was a bad selection because he failed to pick up the safety. The safety was reading his eyes, and Steve said, hey, I got this guy wide open. Now look at Steve looking at the safety, but now he turns and fires, and holy mackerel, look who's standing there waiting on the football. 31, Kevin Ross.
Well, I wasn't impugning his spiral. I was impugning his shot selection. And it nearly cost him drastically.
Impugn this next play.
2nd and 10. Drop play to Wilder, and he gets inside the 15, but a flag down.
How come those things come so late?
We've had a couple of late ones. It may have been after something that occurred after the play was actually over. Let's find out from Ben Wright. No, it was a hold. Maybe it did come late. But if it came late, it was 5 yards behind the play.
Ben Dryth used to have all the Steeler-Cleveland games. I guess it's because he could handle a lot of heat.
Offensive holding number 60. Back 10 and 2nd down.
Randy Grimes, the center, caught for holding. Let's see if we can see the holding by the center on the nose tackle. Grimes on Holly, number 93. There's a left arm, good takedown. Hey, if you're gonna hold, I was always taught, if you're gonna hold, make it a classic.
Leonard Griffin is in defensively, along with 2 more backs, Greg Hill and Sherman Cocroft. 2nd down and 20 from the 29-yard line. Young trying to get the screen out there, but I don't think it was a screen. There was no running back. Yes, there was. It was Wilder that had hit one of the blockers in the back of the head, George Yarno.
Interesting call.
If it was indeed a screen, it was not exactly a classic setup for it, Terry. And a flag is down again as the Bucs seem to be going backwards here after getting a great opportunity on Swope's intercept.
Steve Young's coming over to get a clarification of the call. He's saying, I threw the football to Wilder, and I agree with him. He did throw the football to Wilder.
The ball hit the ineligible receiver behind the line of scrimmage. It's only a loss of a down.
Well, so a loss of a down. We've got an incompletion. That's also a loss of down. As you can see, there's a screen set up. Wilder's trying to catch it, but Wilder is knocked off by Yarno, who is trying to block number 57, Whitney Paul, and protect the screen back, which is Wilder. That's the reason he got hit in the head with a football.
Yeah, that was not the best screen pass we'll see all season.
No, it was a little desperate.
Okay, 3rd down and 20 from the 28-yard line. Buccaneers trying to take advantage of that intercept. Inside to Wilder.
Good call.
To the 21-yard line. He picked up about 9, but he'll bring up a 4th down. Art still ranging back, and Whitney Paul, the linebacker, making the stop on Wilder.
Everyone thinking pressure Young, contain Young. They think he's going to run or throw the football, hand it off to Wilder, get 6-7 yards.
Donald Igwebuike comes in, and the ball will be teed up for him at the 30-yard line. Not literally teed up, but placed down at the 30. A 40-yard attempt, and he's into the wind in this period. Igwebuike, and he knocks that baby through. It is a 40-yard field goal, his 2nd of the afternoon. And the Buccaneers extend their lead over Kansas City, 13-7 with 5:07 to play first half. Who are those guys? I mean, that is nuts. That ball was right on the 30-yard line. You know, let's write a letter to the NFL and. All right. Well, just a little creative spontaneity.
Hold it, they've seen nothing. I've got much. Wait till they see my second half chalkboard. You got it. This obviously the effect it's had. They're fired up here, making things happen. I got all my fans.
4 plays, -4 yards.
Which one? The NFL dropping. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I was writing stuff here. Well, they got 3 out of that intercept after going backwards for a while. Now, come on, Kansas City. Let's make something happen here. Let's go the other way. I want to see some offense going the other way. We've yet. They've shown their version of the 46, but they have yet to send either 93, 55, or 57, or 34. Yeah, that's an unusual deal there. I hadn't seen that. Lehman Bennett got the attention of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week. Jimmy Giles, Kevin House, Ron Springs, high-priced veterans gone. Giles picked up by Detroit, House by the Los Angeles Rams, Springs looking for work. And meanwhile, his team showing the effects of his getting their attention. They're in front. And Igwebuike drills it through the end zone, and Kansas City will start from their 20-yard line. Well, we do want to remind you that NFL action next week on CBS will feature the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants, that important battle in the NFC East. Going into today, they're tied at 5-2 behind Washington, 12:30 Eastern Time. The Cowboys and the Giants, and early in the season, Dallas beat New York when everybody was talking about how big the Giants were going to be this year, and they got off to that kind of a start, losing to Dallas. They'll be looking for revenge at home. It should be something. First down. Kansas City. And that is Boyce Green, stacked up at the line of scrimmage, but a good piece of hard running picks up about 3 for Boyce Green, the 215-pounder from Carson Newman. Turnovers will always have an effect on a game, and we've seen it here so far.
Fumble, touchdown, interception, field goal. Right there, we're looking at 10 points. There's your difference, 13-7, Tampa Bay.
Ron Holmes is in the game defensively. First play of we've seen him in there, and the tackle shaken there by Mike Pruitt and getting out for the first down yardage.
Running to the side of Tyrone Keys, 98, who is, as I've said earlier, a pass specialist. He's a guy that rushes the passer extremely well. Picked up on waivers from the Chicago Bears. A guy that now we're seeing that Kansas City has decided, let's run at the guy who's better against the pass than the run, and they're having success.
Mike Pruitt, we mentioned earlier, crossing the 7,000-yard mark earlier this season in his career. 32 years of age. He is the leading rusher among the active players in the AFC. That's all time. 9 years with the Cleveland Browns. Play action and the reverse. And back the other way to Mike Pruitt. First down, and what a gadget that was, with Brantley finally stopping him. Beautifully faked by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, you know, you say beautifully, but it was a gorgeous play. But the thing that I'm disappointed in is the results of this. Although they were able to get a first down, gadgets are historically designed to explode, to shock a team, to get 30, 40, 50 yards, touchdowns. This play gets 12 yards. So excellent, you know, set up well, but also credit the Tampa Bay defense for coming back and stopping it.
It was really just a screen pass when all was said and done.
A lot of work for a screen pass.
First down over the 45-yard line of Kansas City. Play action fake again, lots of time, and he's got Stephon Page. Castile hauls him down from behind. First down, Kansas City at the 29 of Tampa Bay.
I asked Coach McAvick if he would get involved in the pass offense if he sensed Kenny was hot. He said, yes, I will call more passes. Kenny, play action. Boyce Green holds the linebacker. Stephon Page wide open. Good throw by Kenny. Good route by Page. Now Castile has to come up and make the stop.
He made Castile chase him all the way from the other side of the field, and they've been picking on Jeremiah Castile. Page, second only to Carlos Carson in speed among the wide receivers. Maybe Hancock. Both Hancock and Carson have been hurt for the Chiefs. Wide open is Page again, and he is down to the 11, 12-yard line, we'll call it. I wish Chiefs on a roll.
I wish I'd had the guts to come out and say, I expect another pass, because as we said, Mackovic will get involved. He will get involved and feel the flow, the adrenaline flow. One pass to Page. Now he comes out, puts him in the slot. Another pass to Page.
Well executed.
Well, that's 2 passes in a row. Coach, what do? You've thrown the ball twice. You're looking good. Your quarterback's hot. Do you do it again? Of course you do.
Well, I know if you were the quarterback, you'd be thrown in the end zone.
You bet. Throw it again.
First down at the 12-yard line. Gould and Green. They go to Green. And Green piece of hard running, a flag down. He got to the 7-yard line.
Holding, it's going to be called on the left side, either on Buddy or on the center Donnelly.
Running behind Donnelly and Buddy. And Donnelly, your old pal from Pittsburgh, and he's likened Kenny to Terry Bradshaw. And I'll tell you why in a minute. As you see that signal against Kansas City, he recounted your days when in a situation just as you described, Coach Knoll would say, "What are you doing, Bradshaw?"
He never said that to me.
And you would say, "Don't worry, Coach, we'll score."
Number 51, and it's also the 2-minute warning.
Yes, you know exactly. Those are the exact words I would use.
We have reached the 2-minute warning with Tampa Bay leading Kansas City 13-7, but the Chiefs threatening. What exact language did he use?
Hey, really? Let's come back with that holding call on Rick, because I like Rick. I had him over for Mexican food one time.
Donnelly says,
I like him. He's one of my... Hey, and we didn't get the story in here. Of course, we got all day, but Donnelly's... Yeah, Donnelly's one of these guys that Makovic said, all right, let's see it. On the nose tackle, left arm, right arm, up underneath these guys. Hey, that's just... Okay, I've got a good point to make on that, okay? In defense of the center, I've got a good point to make. David? All right?
This is an
There's
exact
old Mark
quote here.
Haddix. There's a Baylor
Noel
guy.
would be screaming, "Terry, what are you doing?" Terry would laugh and say, "Don't worry, Coach, we'll score."
Yeah. Well, hey, you
What he
just
said.
like to quote me correctly, will you?
But this is right from Rick Donnelly. He was just covering for you because I know that's not what you were saying.
Really? I'd say, oh, Chuck.
Oh,
Really? Why did you send in such a stupid play? You and I both know that is a stupid play, and I refuse to run it. Of course, I would say that because I knew we had 2 rookie quarterbacks on the sideline. Gotcha.
You get it.
Rick Donnelly, the center for the Chiefs, my ex-roommate, former of the Washington Redskins, is called for holding here, but in his defense, he is so strong, he gets up underneath the nose tackle, good arm movement, good leg drive, and pins him to the ground. I think that was a bad call by the ref.
Well, it backed him up to the 22-yard line. It is first down. 20. They need to get to the 2 for a first down. 2 minutes to play first half. Out the right side to Boyce Green, and waiting for him was Keith Browner, number 57. You could hear the Chiefs hollering for a face mask.
That's one of those combination passes, Tim, where you put a back in a flat and take your receiver and slant him across the field. If the linebackers drop off, you hit the back. That time the linebackers dropped off, and Kenny hit Boyce Green in the flat.
You think Hank Stram is watching this game instead of all those others that are on CBS
Well,
today?
of course. This is his football team.
Hello, Hank. He'll be coming on with Brent Nerve. At halftime, we had Hank in our opening there. The old glory days of the Chiefs. Boyce Green inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Playing guessing game with 1:43 and counting. Guessing like the little chess match here. You're going to throw? Well, we run. You're going to run? Well, we throw. A little guessing. That time caught Tampa Bay in a soft zone. Dropping everyone back, they ran the football.
Well, now they have a third down, and they still need more than 8 yards to get a first down.
They should have called 2 plays in the huddle and not had the line back up. They ate up 14 seconds on the clock. Have 2 plays to get up and run them both.
1:20 and counting underneath that now. Third down play, and a big one for the Chiefs. Good protection. Hits his man Arnold, and Arnold will be short of the first down. Depending on the spot, he's trying to lean it forward. The Bucs are trying to push it back. Somebody came up with the ball, but it is Kansas City ball. Is he short of the first down? Washington and Brantley made the tackle, the linebackers. He's going to have either a third and about a football to get a first down and several more cracks at the end zone, or he's looking at fourth down. They will measure. Walt Arnold, the tight end, 7-year veteran from New Mexico. Played with 2 or 3 teams before finding a home here.
Short. I think you go for it. You're 4-3. You want to have 5-3. You say this will be your best start under Makovic. I think you go for it. I think you take that challenge and that opportunity, and I think you get out there and go for it. How about you, Mr. Ryan?
Well, I agree, and I think we saw the sign there from Makovic. Kenny's coming over. We've got a timeout on the field. He'll talk it over with Makovic, and they are just 2 games back in the AFC West. It's a competitive division, even though Denver is out in front at 6-1. Kansas City still in the thick of it. 58 seconds to play first half.
Timeouts left, Tim. Timeouts for Kansas City.
2 more. Okay, let's get that Tampa defense, Terry. I see Morgan. How many down linemen?
Morgan, they got 4 in there. Should have Morgan.
Is that Kellen in by any
And they'll
chance?
have Logan, Nelson, and Keys. Or Kellen. Is Kellen in there?
No,
75.
I don't think so.
Huh?
No. Well, I'm not sure, but I don't see him.
Okay, let's see.
67.
All right,
67,
Holmes.
Logan. Holmes.
Holmes.
What about Keys?
Nelson, no, right here.
No, Nelson. Okay, Nelson, Morgan,
Nelson.
Logan, Holmes.
Yeah.
So Holmes out there with that bad knee again. Okay, Jeff Davis comes in with the defense. Jeremiah Castile is killing him. Or they're killing him. More accurate. Yeah, he's the smallest of those linebackers. Tim Ryan, Terry Bradshaw, and 4th down inches. Kansas City at the 3-yard line of Tampa Bay, trailing 13-7. Pruitt and Jeff Smith. Pruitt, and they had him stopped. Curry, but the effort by the bigger, stronger Pruitt has a first down for Kansas City. They kept him out of the end zone, but now they've got 4 shots from inside the 1.
Well, they've got 40 seconds. They should have, once again, if they made that first down, Tim, have another play called because you have your goal line offense already in the football game, so go ahead and have 2 plays called.
Pruitt and Moriarty are the running backs. The fake, and they've got him back at the 10-yard line. Washington, Browner make it. Keith Browner, number 57, and Terry, what were they thinking there?
They were trying to guess with them. They expected that the Tampa Bay would come in with a goal line blitz and shoot their outside corners. They would play action that would get Kenny out by himself, and then they had the tight end dragging across, but that time he was covered well, and Browner did an excellent job of getting in the face of Kenny and sacking him. Watch this.
I don't think they got a receiver out
Now
there.
you see Swope coming down inside, so they expected that. Now Kenny's outside, but hey, where's my protection? They should have had a guard pulling for him. No one pulled for him, gave him no protection. Now Kenny, being the experienced quarterback, throw it away. Throw it away. Now you've got 8 yards, 9 yards to score.
I think he was still looking for a receiver that did not appear. They didn't let him out.
You don't have time, Tim. That's the point here. This is a quick strike area where everything happens fast. You don't have the time to sit there all day long and try to make proper decisions. It's either bing, bing. It's either now or throw it away. Throw it away.
But Terry, what about calling that play at all when you're first and goal from the 1-yard line? I mean, you got 4 shots.
Well,
in
they
there.
have 2 timeouts left, so I agree with your strategy there. You have 2 timeouts left. Okay, we're going to drive it up in there. You like a yard to score. But I think this was good strategy. If they anticipated the corners coming, that was right. But what they didn't anticipate was the excellent play of Browner.
Well, I don't
As
know.
it turns out, hindsight, we say bad call. You say bad call.
I would have gone with Pruitt on first down.
Excellent defense is what that was.
2nd and goal from the 9. Short drop and incomplete. Marshall, the intended receiver.
Bad throw of the ball once again. Jones doing an excellent job. The right corner, number 22, is Marshall. A big, huge target comes inside. The ball was thrown behind Marshall.
I'm going to tell you something. This Buccaneer defense, not only are they playing tough and well, they are having fun out there right now. I mean, here's a team really shaken up this week by Lehman Bennett, cutting 3 big-name guys with a lot of money. They're in a ball game that they're leading here against Kansas City. They won only once. These guys really look like they're enjoying this combat. 3rd and goal. Kenny trying to get it in the end zone. Marshall is there, and it's incomplete. Thrown wide and out of bounds.
Well,
and the crowd boos. The Chiefs here with 8 seconds left. They've got to go to the field goal.
They've gone from the 1-yard line all the way back to the 10-yard line. For some reason, it appears to me, Tim, that Kenny is having a hard time controlling the football. The passes that he is throwing are, well, they're put it very bluntly, are ducks, wobbles.
Well, so it's up to Lowry, Terry, as he comes in to try and salvage this with a 3-pointer. He doesn't often miss from this distance. The ball will be spotted at the 17, a 27-yard try. In fact, he has never missed from under 30 yards this season. 30 and under, he's been perfect. And he remains so. So Lowry does his job, and Kansas City stays close, reducing the margin to 3 as time winds down in the first half. We'll have just the kickoff. With 5 seconds, a 26-yarder for Nick Lowry.
Wasn't it interesting how in the first 2 quarters they've attacked Jeremiah Castile, number 23, the left corner. Then they put Marshall and had success at it. And then they put Marshall over on Jones, and then they attacked Jones and had no success.
That's interesting as well, because Castile has been having a very long first half for the Buccaneers, but the Bucs on that last defensive series certainly played outstandingly well. And there you see Makovic.
Excuse me, you got to wonder if Makovic is talking to Addix, the left guard, the right guard, and saying, you were supposed to pull out and block Browner.
Well, we'll have to ask him that after the game. Let's call him from the airport. Next Saturday, CBS Sports puts great games back-to-back. Heisman hopeful Vinny Testaverde and number 1 ranked Miami Hurricanes will play Florida State, and that should be plenty of excitement. 12 noon Eastern time. You know that Florida State, while they only have a 4-2-1 record, have scored 50 points in each of their last 3 victories, and they've won 3 in a row, so they're going to be dangerous in the Orange Bowl. Short kickoff. And that finishes off this first half of play at Arrowhead Stadium, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers leading the Kansas City Chiefs 13-10. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw back at Arrowhead Stadium, and right at the end of the half, the Chiefs knocking on the door down in Bucs territory with a 1st and goal from the 1-yard line, elected to pass the ball on 1st down. And they had all kinds of problems with it. As we see at halftime, the stats stand in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs. 125 yards of passing to only 63 for Steve Young and company, and 188 total yards. But Terry, let's take a look at that play at the end of the board on the Bradshaw blackboard here to find out what happened, because this play just never came off.
Right, they had 2 tight ends. They sent the tight end in motion, play action pass, and then Kenny comes out wide. But what happened is that Browner comes out and picks up Kenny, and then Swope jams the tight end. The tight end can get off the ball. There's no one out here. Kenny's outside, and then Browner with great effort comes out and sack.
That's what it was.
How about that?
We'll see it here.
Now, as you can see, Arnold in motion. Kenny will play action to Pruitt. Pruitt will dive up in the middle to hold in the Curry, the free safety. He gets out wide. Now, look, there's Browner. And Browner, now Kenny's looking back inside, trying to find his tight end. No one there. Browner, excellent job, excellent job.
It was Kaufman, and you can see Kaufman at the top left-hand corner of your screen. He was finally able to get out, but the Bucs did a great job of where are you, Bradshaw?
I'm right here. I'm scratching
my eyes.
The
Bucs did a great job of tying up Kaufman and not letting him get out, and that's how it resulted. So they wound up back upfield, had to settle for the Lowry field goal, and they trail instead of being ahead.
Instead of
as
a
we begin the
touchdown, they
second
got
half.
3 points. You're exactly right,
So
Coach.
we got a good, close ball game here, 13-10. Tampa Bay in front. Igwe Buike will kick it off. Kansas City and 10 first downs to 6 for the Bucks, and as you saw in the stats, led in the total yardage. Jeff Smith will bring this one out. And he's met by Irvin Randall at the 23-yard line. So Kansas City with Bill Kenny at the controls. He came in last week in that wild one against San Diego, took over from young Todd Blackledge, and Bill Kenny feeling that while he was being supportive of the team idea and Coach John Makovic, he was not happy that he didn't get to compete with Blackledge. He was told last May he would be the backup here in Kansas City, but things do tend to turn around. Even though they're 4-3 offensively, they have not been real strong. Blackledge threw an interception at the end of the first half last week down on his own goal line. Kenny took over with 6 of 9 in the second half and the starter today. Sideliner incomplete, intended for Henry Marshall, number 89. We have not seen Carlos Carson in the game today. The wide receiver for Kenny in his glory days in '83 when he passed for over 4,000 yards. Carson, I think, has been in the ball game only once, but has not been a factor. Coming off an ankle injury and is not 100%, so they have not been using him extensively. A couple of 3 wide receiver sets, and that's about it.
He's their most consistent receiver, and he's very important to their pass offense.
Yeah, he was Kenny's favorite target in the past. Pruitt, big hole. Hard running by Mike Pruitt for a first down of the 36-yard line of the Kansas City Chiefs. 32-year-old veteran from Purdue. 12 yards on the play. Curry, the safety, starting for Ivory Sully's second consecutive game.
One of the problems they had to their running game, the center Donnelly said, we're blocking one way and our backs are running the other. That time they were on the same page.
First down Kansas City, and they shift to the I formation. Now back to the pro set. Look, little miscue, and good alert play by Kenny to just go forward with the ball, but something happened on that play.
A lot of times, Tim, the center will see a tackle or an end jump off sides, and instead of the count being a longer count, which would allow that end or tackle to get back on side, the center will snap the ball to get an offside penalty in 5 yards. I think that time that Donnelly saw that, snapped the ball, and then alertly Kenny just followed him up inside.
Well, they got a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. They didn't get the offside call, but they got positive yardage. Play action. Kenny, and into traffic, incomplete. There'll be a flag that will likely be against the Bucks for a late hit by Brantley. Jones was the cover man on Henry Marshall, but there were 3 Bucks around Henry Marshall on the play. Not much chance for him to catch it.
Pass interference number 22, and that's a first down.
Well, I thought Brantley might get called for a late hit, but it was an interference call against the cover man, Jones.
Anytime the receiver turns around and faces the quarterback and the defensive back is behind him, the only way that he can avoid a pass interference is to go through the receiver. Now, Scott Brantley going back, getting underneath the ball. There's the penalty already, and Scott says, here, take that on back with you.
First down, Kansas City in Buccaneer territory. Boy screen in motion. Deep for Page. He's got it at the 4-yard line. Stephon Page. 41-yard gain.
Best pass Kenny's thrown today. A ball actually spiral. A little play action to hold the linebackers. No big deal. You're going deep. Now, where's the free safety? The free safety that time, Curry, was caught up underneath on the play action, and he isolated Jones, 22, man for man on Page. Page beats Jones. Kenny gets the ball to Page.
First and goal from the 5-yard line. Stephon Page with a dandy catch on a perfect throw from Kenny. Pruitt comes out. Moriarty's in with Boyce Green. Green running wide, hauled down by Scott Brantley. No gain on the play.
Had a good chance before the game to talk to Hugh Coverhouse, the owner of the Tampa Bay team, quite honestly, the conversation circled around number 52, Scott Brantley. If you had 45 players with the heart and desire of Scott Brantley and the talent, you wouldn't be 1-6. This guy is a great, great linebacker.
And we covered them a few weeks ago against Atlanta, and you pointed out that Irvin Randall had come in to replace him on one play, and boy, he picked that up on his old VCR later. He said, hey, you didn't say I had a cramp. That's the only reason I was out of there.
Down with the VCR.
Okay. It is 2nd and goal from the 5. Boyce Green stacked up at the 3-yard line.
Brantley Davis once again inside.
What a load those linebackers have had to carry. We've mentioned it before, but John Cannon and Ron Holmes, two pretty tough defensive ends, both out with injuries, although Holmes has been in on a couple of plays today, but Cannon now on injured reserve. That means the linebackers have been very, very busy, taking quite a pounding.
The thing they do in the short yardage situation is they're responsible, Tim, to stop the run. Their defensive linemen get down and allow their linebackers to penetrate the gaps and get in and make the tackles.
Nelson, Keys, David Logan along the front. It is 3rd and goal. And he gets time. Has a man, incomplete. Intended, I believe, for Page. Arnold was behind him. And the boos come from the sparse crowd here of about 35,000 at Arrowhead. They'll have to settle for the field goal. So again, the Chiefs come up empty down there in terms of a major score from inside the 5.
You come out with those play actions trying to hit your tight end cross. The thing you can't forget about is your backs. Boyce Green, number 40, Tim, that time left side, waving his arms. Hey, I'm wide open, I'm wide open. Kenny trying to get it to his tight end, missed him.
Kenny will hold for Nick Lowry. It'll be a 20-yard attempt. Lowry with a field goal from 26 at the end of the first half. And he has this one, a 20-yard field goal for Nick Lowry, his 2nd of the afternoon. After missing from 52 yards earlier, he has now tied it up. 10:59 to go, 3rd quarter.
One of the problems you have in an offense that's a 1-2-3 offense is you forget about 4. 4 is the running backs. 4 that time was wide open.
Yeah, but even the two guys in the middle were both
Covered.
wide open. No, Page had it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, the Sim Sack promo. Yeah, let's get this stuff out of the way. I want to see Sim Sack. That's going to get me to tune in next week.
Don't forget, we've got to promo the Dwayne Walker Jackie B Ranch.
and
Yeah.
and also
Canton, Kansas.
Sherman Colcroft's mama too.
That's right. I got to get those DBs in here. Don't forget about that story
Right.
on those backs,
And the
defensive
DBs.
backs.
Well, we'll have him coming up next series here. Freeman, Wansley, Nate.
Nate's in the game.
Nick Lowry has accounted for 6 of those 13 Kansas City points and has tied up this game as we are in the 3rd period with 10:59 to play. Lowry will kick it off. Kansas City going 74 yards in 8 plays, using up 401. And the big one, a 42-yarder from Bill Kenny to Stephon Page, setting them up at the 5-yard line. Phil Freeman from the 3. Close to the 25-yard line. And a little extra pushing and shoving. The Chiefs seem to get involved with this almost every week. I think it's part of their psych ritual. Greg Hill made the tackle, and you can see the linebacker Dino Hackett. He's quite a fireball, that rookie. Next Sunday on CBS Sports, our big game will see the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. Phil Simms hopes to not have that kind of thing happen to him. Herschel Walker getting better and better each week as he settles into the Dallas offense, but countermanding that, big Lawrence Taylor, the outstanding linebacker of the Giants. So it's a rematch as Dallas won the first one. The Giants hope for revenge in that battle in the NFC East. Wilder is stopped right at the line of scrimmage, and Hackett is there. Well, that guy's got some fire in him, isn't it? Hasn't he? And still leading the charge, made the initial contact. Old Dino from Appalachian State sounds like kind of a placid, quiet place to go to school, but that boy must have eaten some bad apples down there.
200 tackles his senior year. I don't care if it's at Appalachian State or Notre Dame. That is a lot of tackles.
And you can see he's been doing the job here in his rookie season. 2nd down and 9. They gave Wilder a yard. Young up the middle, and it is incomplete. Off the hands of the defender Lloyd Burris. He had 3 intercepts last week against San Diego. Calvin McGee, the intended receiver, and there's Burris.
I had a nice talk with Burris and Daron Cherry the other day. Before you know it, I had all the defensive backs over there, and we had a little powwow. And the thing that was so interesting about it was that Cherry, who is really the intellect of the bunch, he started studying all this film, and then Burris says, I don't understand why you're doing that. So before you know it, he's taught Burris how to study film, and the whole defensive back, now they go out and gather the $1,800 machines to watch this tape with, and they all study film.
Well, they have been producing as a result of their hard work.
Young, audible.
Saw that big linebacker coming up there in the middle, Whitney Paul. Young gets some time, and a sideliner incomplete, intended for Freeman. And it was little Kevin Ross, the right corner, number 31.
Kevin Ross, known to be the headhunter, the real aggressive little right corner. That time, it was an excellent throw by the quarterback. But what should have happened is that Freeman, Tim, when he made his plant, drive back down the sideline away from Ross. Don't stand there and come back gingerly. Now look at this. This is an excellent throw. Now come back hard. If he comes back hard, he'll get that pass.
7 of 11, Steve Young now. Phil Freeman working in the house previously, the spot previously occupied by Kevin. He was in House's house, you know what I mean.
And that's not to say doghouse either.
Right. 4th down. So Freeman has not had a lot of experience out there with Steve Young as yet. Whoa, Garcia! Frank Garcia, the rush was on, the snap a little off the mark, and Albert Lewis came pouring in.
Did this last week against the Chargers. Albert Lewis believes that he can block punts. As he gets free inside, there's no charge. Garcia has to try to run with the football. He had no option that time. He also had no help.
George Yarno's snap, as you saw, pulling Garcia away from his stance. And then the next thing as he tried to get himself set up, he was looking at this guy, Albert Lewis. All right, 1st down, Kansas City at the 15-yard line of Tampa Bay. Boy, and he is hit immediately. Scott Brantley, the bass fisherman from Tampa Bay, got one on his line that time and dropped him back to the 22.
Blitz by Brantley, 52, and Chris Washington. On the right, as you can see, coming out. Now there's the handoff. Brantley just gets up inside. Washington from the outside, nowhere to go. Excellent job.
Second down, 16. Kenny has lots of time. Up the middle, and it is caught.
Incomplete.
Mike Pruitt, but no, it is incomplete. A low pass. Pruitt looked like he might have made a great grab reaching down to that turf, but it's incomplete.
There used to be this saying that if you give a quarterback all day long, he'll pick you to pieces. I can't say it. You really couldn't sit here and say enough nice things about Eatman, Buddy, Donnelly, Addix, and Baldinger about the excellent job they're doing pass protecting today. And I'm surprised that we haven't seen more pass completions on behalf of the quarterback.
Bill Kenny having some problems here, hitting some open targets. It is 3rd down. 16 to go. Carlos Carson in at wide receiver. Out of the shotgun this time. Jeremiah Castile, a flag down. Castile runs it to the 20-yard line. Off the hands of Henry Marshall, but again, not an on-target pass. Now the flag occurred after the interception. Let's see what the call is. Well, Bill Kenny says it's against Tampa Bay. It appeared to come after the flag flew, after the intercept, but the infraction may have occurred before. And there's the signal, interference against Tampa Bay. So the Chiefs will keep the football.
Kevin Murphy, 59, out to left. They're right outside linebacker, shaking his head. So evidently, they're going to call this on Kevin Murphy.
Number 21, pass interference. That's a first down.
Vito McKeever, number 21. They're saying that he was all over the back of number 89, Marshall.
McKeever, the nickelback out of the University of Florida, signed as a free agent this year from the USFL. So the interception goes for naught, and Kansas City has the ball again at the 15-yard line and a first down. A break for the Chiefs there. It was not a well-thrown pass by Kenny. On the ground, Green has a big hold of the 5-yard line. Good blocking by Buddy and Irv Eatman on the left side. Jones and Curry on the tackle. Second down. They need less than a yard for a first down. This is the third time they've been in this kind of situation down here at the 5-yard line. If they get a first down without getting it in, once more they'll have first and goal from inside the 5. Third time in the game. Pruitt. And he does have the first down yardage. He is stopped short of the goal line. Let's see what Kansas City does this time in here. First and goal from the 4. Bob Nelson and Scott Brantley making the tackle at the 4-yard line. There's John Makovic.
Well, you've got to imagine that they've learned their lesson. One of the things that you don't want to do is have a repeat performance of what happened into the first half. So you would expect them this time from the 4-yard line, Tim, to go ahead and run the football into the end zone.
4 down linemen in. The goal line defense in the I formation. Green and Pruitt. This is Green. Stopped at the 3-yard line.
Bob Nelson, the first-year man out of the USFL as well. Here's a guy as a backup nose man being asked to play out there at right defensive end for Ron Holmes. Not a big-name guy, and been doing a fine job here this afternoon. Well, you really have to admire the way that both ends have played, because these guys are coming in here. They're not that sure. This guy's playing out of position. Keys is primarily a third-down pass rusher. And once again today, good effort by the people that are playing out of position and are starting for the first time. We've got Carl Morgan in there on this front. Second and goal. Pitch out. Trying to get wide. Moriarty is stuck. Whoa. Well, again, the Bucs reading that awfully well, but if there's a question to be asked is why is it your fullback that's trying to get wide out there, not the speedster? Once again, they're anticipating goal line blitz where the corners and safeties come down inside, but when you pitch it like this, they won't come down inside. They'll play off outside. Good pursuit by their linebackers that time. Jeff Davis, 58, as he sets inside, and then the running back cuts back in and meet him. Third and goal. Kansas City struggling to try and get into the end zone. This is the third series with a first down inside the 5. The pass for Page. He's coming. What a catch, Stephon Page with Castile all over him. Somehow managed to come up with a football. Just an excellent catch. Castile never knows that the football is coming to him. 1-2 by Kenny. Excellent throw. Look at this. Just throws it out there. Throws it right at the back of Castile. And for some way or another, the right hand of Page gets around and picks up the football. Great catch. Oh, that is a sensational one-hander by Stephon Page. Looked like he was actually falling down
as he made the grab, as he had Castile all over him.
He was so well covered by Castile, there was nowhere to throw the football but to a lousy spot, and that's what Kenny did. Just threw it there and said, catch it. Page caught it.
So Kansas City finally strikes from inside the 5 on their 3rd try, and they go ahead. Lowry will attempt the point after. And he has it. "15 yards in 7 plays. Kansas City on top 20-13.
I want to see that to catch again.
Well, they would have taken some wind out of their sails if they hadn't scored on that series. My goodness. You can have that.
You can have. You want to just. If we come back to it, I just wanted you to see
Yeah.
it. He broke that record. So, making great catches is nothing unusual. Okay. God, look at that ugly pass.
Yeah, it was ugly. He one-handed, just one-handed it, yeah.
Yeah. Whew. What a ugly throw. Sometimes the ugly ones are the best ones. Hey.
Yo. Okay. A regular old promo. Tim Ryan, Terry Bradshaw, Arrowhead Stadium, and watch Stephon Page make this grab here on this pass from Kenny.
It's just a simple throw it up, you catch it, I hope. There it is. Kenny one step and he throws it. As you can see, Castile has Stephon Page totally covered, and how in the world he got that right arm out to catch the football is beyond me.
Short kickoff comes down at the 10-yard line, taken by Phil Freeman. Freeman almost had some daylight, makes a good return to the 30-yard line. And he stopped there by Anthony Hayes, by Kaufman Macon and Jonathan Hayes, the 2 tight ends out there on the specials team. And the next week, don't forget, the Cowboys and the Giants, an eagerly awaited rematch, and it'll be at Giant Stadium. The Cowboys and the Giants, 12:30 Eastern Time, a key battle in the NFC East. Well, they tell us that there are 36,000 fans on hand here in Arrowhead today. They're seeing an exciting football game. The Chiefs coming back to go on top. Steve Young on first down. Runs out of room, and then it's intercepted. Deron Cherry's 4th interception of the season. Trying to get it, I believe, to Calvin McGee, but Young just got it up too high.
He was trying to hit Phil Freeman, number 81, coming across from right to left. Now, as you see, a little play action to get Wilder outside. Now, Steve is outside. Now, he's pointing downfield, trying to get the receiver, Carter, to go deep. But he sees Freeman, but he cannot get the ball to Freeman because of Cooper. And then he sees Freeman again, and this time he throws the ball too high, and it's intercepted by Deron Cherry, number 20.
So the Chiefs have the ball again in Tampa Bay territory at the 46-yard line, having just gone ahead in the ball game. One setback is Pruitt. Kenny down the middle for Page, and it's almost intercepted by Castile.
Woo!
Jeremiah Castile, a diving try, could not hold on when he came down to the turf.
Castile does not touch this football. Page has another long reception, Tim. That was an excellent throw that time by Kenny. Page had a step on Jones, and then all of a sudden, Castile coming out of nowhere. What he did actually was read the quarterback, come out of his coverage, and help out at the safety. There's a throw down the middle. Now Castile makes the break. Look at that. He doesn't get his hands on that ball. That's a big, big completion.
Ron Cherry's 4th interception of the season, giving the Chiefs, pardon me, 14 on the year. They are tough in that secondary. 2nd and 10. And offensively now, it's Boyce Green, and he's racked up with a tough hit. Brantley is there. And a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. Green got to the 40-yard line of the Bucs, but it's going to be signaled against Kansas City. Kenny, 11 of 21, 177 yards, a touchdown, and an interception to this point in the game.
Illegal motion number 86, 5 yards back and 2nd down.
Emil Harry, yeah. One of the wide receivers, 3rd wide receiver most of the occasions today. Carlos Carson has been in a little bit.
A lot of times what will happen, Tim, is when Harry went in motion, his body went toward the line of scrimmage prior to the ball being snapped.
So it leaves them 2nd and 15, and they're now back at their own 49-yard line. Jeff Smith and Mike Pruitt, as they shuffle those running backs around, down to down. A pump fake and deep for Page again. And the battle for it, it's incomplete. Craig Swope, number 41, went up with Stephon Page. The Bucs were well prepared on that one. He was the only deep man, and they had 2 guys on him.
Hey, these guys they didn't wake up yesterday. You burn them one time, fine, but 2 plays later to come back and try it again, well, they're not going to let it happen. Kenny doing a nice job of trying to pump off the free safety to get the ball into Page. No way going. Swope's sitting there. Everyone sitting at Castfield is there. Just excellent coverage that time.
4:48 to go here in the 3rd period, and a real dogfight here between the Chiefs and the Bucs. It's only the 6th time these 2 teams have ever met. Kansas City holding a 3-2 margin in this brief series. 3rd down and 15. Out of the shotgun, Kenny will try. Sideliner is complete. Carlos Carson short of the 1st down at the 38-yard line of the Buccaneers. Rod Jones and Chris Washington, the left side cornerback and linebacker, respectively, stop him short of the 1st down.
Even with his injury, Carson coming in, playing out wide side, just drifts down the field 14 yards and turns around. And Jones respects the burst that Carson has. He says, hey, you're not fooling me, anybody. I know you're fixing to go deep. He lays off. Kenny gets into football.
So Lewis Colbert is in to punt. Bobby Futrell is waiting for it at the 10-yard line. Colbert, the rookie from Auburn. As this punt go into the end zone, it took a bad hop away from number 22, Sherman Cocroft, who was trying to down the ball at the 1 if he'd been able to field it. Good try, but the ball got away. So it's Kansas City 20-13. So they had Flutie in the CBS booth there with Morris and Walker. Was that the first punt by Colbert? I don't think so. I think it was first punt. Yeah. Yeah, Garcia wanted to punt another time. Lights are on here. Bradshaw said the sun was out. That's when they turned the lights on. Huh? Kansas 7, Chicago over Detroit. You know, the Bears haven't scored an offensive touchdown in that game. Wilbur Marshall ran it in for their only touchdown on a fumble.
Yeah, got banged up pretty good. They had Fuller warming up at halftime, but McMahon came back out.
Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw at Arrowhead Stadium, where the Buccaneers will have it first down at their own 20-yard line following the first punt by Kansas City today. Carter in motion. They give it to James Wilder. Wilder is hit right at the line of scrimmage, and that's that Dino Hackett, the rookie from Appalachian State. He has been impressive, as he has all season long for Kansas City. Gain of maybe 2 on the forward progress dive by Wilder as he was upended by Hackett. Green Bay in front of the 49ers. Eric Holly in on the nose, replacing Bill Maas. Our word on Maas earlier was that Maas was suffering from the flu. Wilder up the middle, gets to the 30-yard line. He'll be short of the first down, but it's close there. It'll leave third and less than a yard. Lloyd Burris made the stop, and the word is that apparently Bill Maas just too ill to continue today. Went out back in the first half. And that's quite a loss in the middle there on the nose of that Kansas City defense.
He's one of the really fine nose tackles in the National Football League. And, you know, his attitude towards playing nose tackle is that, you know, you've got to go out there and play, you know, reckless abandon.
Wilder is up to 67 yards on the day. And Wilder met at the line of scrimmage trying to get to the first down and driven back by 2 red-shirted Chiefs. And Eric Ross, Kevin Ross, pardon me, taking a little poke at somebody considerably bigger.
Took a shot at Jerry Bell, gave him a little shot in the shoulders, and then retreated about 15 yards and got around more red jerseys. Smart move, I'd say.
Wilder got the first down, meanwhile, after his initial hit in there, and then was driven back.
You can see Ross, 31, coming up inside. There's the initial contact by Wansley. Now they grab his face mask. Look at this.
Well, the yardage was there for Wilder. First down at the 31-yard line. Young sideliner complete to Jerry Bell. And a first down, Tampa Bay at their own 42-yard line. Lloyd Burris, the safety on the tackle. He had the coverage on the so-called U-back. And we see Kansas City in the first down department. Quite a margin. And on the scoreboard, they lead 20-13. 13-yard gain for Bell from Steve Young. First down, Tampa Bay at their own 44-yard line. Wide left comes Wansley. Pump fake. Wansley going deep. He's covered by Burris and just overthrown. Wansley with a little burst got behind his cover man Burris, and Young missed him by about 3 or 4 inches.
The play before, Burris had the tight end Bell man for man. Same formation this time, but they kept Bell back in and brought Wansley out, and once again Burris had to cover him man for man. That time Wansley got behind Burris, and then Steve overthrew him.
2nd and 10. Bucks trying to get it all. Steve Young 8 for 15, 82 yards. And he may run out of time on that one.
He's going to have the nose tackle off sides. Hit Randy Grimes right in the head. Their helmets butted that time. Just boom, like 2 rams hitting.
That was Eric Holly in for Bill Maas, as we said a couple of plays back.
Defense made contact with the center. 5-yard penalty.
Our man Bradshaw saw that one.
Little rams butting heads. Watch it. Look at the bottom of your screen. See number 93, Eric Holly. Now the ball snapped. No, it doesn't. Now he says, little head bump.
2nd and 5 on the penalty. Wilder inside, still going, has a first down to the 40-yard line of Kansas City. Dino Hackett and Deron Cherry put the stop on him there as time winds down in the final minute of the 3rd period.
Try the right side, that time coming back to the left side. Good job by the left tackle, Rob Taylor, as he took his man out, allowed Wilder to cut back inside. The thing that James Wilder does best, Tim, is stretch a defense out, then cut back against the flow.
And as you can see, Wilder having a good day as the premier running back, 79 yards. Bell in motion. Wilder again. Wilder gets about 4. Running behind Sean Farrell and Ron Heller, and Pete Koch is the man to stop him for the Chiefs. And the gun sounds, ending the third quarter with the score. The Kansas City Chiefs 20 and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 13.
My headset was popping.
Yeah, we had a little. I had a little.
Oh, was yours doing it too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was popping. But it's okay now. Yeah.
It's a little kind of breakup that came and went. Yep. Well, let's see. Yeah, we got it right. Yeah.
Steve Young, yeah, excellent. Yeah, but he'll be somewhere.
That interception by Kansas City, I think, was his first in 60-some passes, right?
Okay, David. All right, thank you. Tim, I'm going to take Steve Young coming out, all right?
Okay.
Talking to Steve Young yesterday, he told me, he said, you know, after playing all these football teams and now starting to play more and more, he said, I finally feel like I belong in the National Football League. It's nice to finally feel like you belong.
He has a 2nd and 6 in Kansas City territory at the 37-yard line. And the southpaw has Bell open in the middle, and a first down, Tampa Bay. Hit by Lloyd Burris with a pretty good crack at the 25-yard line of the Chiefs. That interception by Deron Cherry earlier on Steve Young was just his 2nd of the season. One that occurred last week. Apparently it ended a streak of 65 pass attempts without an interception, but it was subsequently wiped out. It was called a fumble rather than a forward pass when he was sacked last week.
Not bad, huh?
So he's, he has stayed out of trouble.
Really? Get those interceptions returned?
Leads the league in interception percentage. Down. Wansley trying to get wide left and strung out well by Kansas City. Burris forced him out of bounds. The pressure came from the linebacker. That Dino Hackett covers a lot of real estate, and he had help from Lewis Cooper, number 55.
Hackett's one of those kind of linebackers that are extremely active. Plays the run well, plays the pass well, but if you try to run away from him, he has that closing speed for a big man to be able to get in there and run down the running backs.
Turns into a gain of 3 for Nate Wansley, 2nd and 7 at the 21-yard line of Kansas City. Play action. Young driven out of into the fence, and he is hurt. Driven out by Kevin Ross, and now apparently up and all right, but he looked like an outfielder going into the fence in a World Series game.
They will not allow this to happen. When quarterbacks get out of bounds, 31 is going to have to learn to turn him loose right now. Turn him loose, because they're going to throw a flag. Now he pushes Young 8 yards out, and then he goes into the wall very easily. Could have had a separated shoulder, broken clavicle, any numerous types of injuries that can come from running into a wall.
Out of bounds. First down.
Now there will be a penalty against Kevin Ross for that little extracurricular push. And it looks like that wall is padded over there here at Arrowhead. Fortunately for Steve Young, as he took quite a run into it.
You've got to also ask yourself, would he have been thrown out of this football game had Steve Young received a serious injury?
Well, that's an interesting question. Fortunately for both Young, the Bucks, and Ross, he's all right. Well, there's the wall.
Maybe they'll put a little X there or something.
Right, yeah. They do that for automobile fatalities in Yugoslavia, you know. Just a little interesting sidelight. First down, and Wansley gets away from the first man with a good second effort. Hackett had him, and is he angry? But they still managed to hold him to less than a yard, it would appear. Pete Koch, number 74, with the tackle.
Koch doing an outstanding job of staying outside, but Hackett coming up inside from a blitzing linebacker slot, got through and hit Wansley in the backfield.
Hackett, you can see over checking the signals at the sideline. Boy, he falls into that lovely football cliche now, intensity, about as well as anybody we've seen so far this season. That young man is serious. Second down, inside the 10. Blitz. Runs out of time, flags down, pass incomplete. Art Still made the hit on Young. Young got the ball off. It'll probably be an incompletion, but there was a flag down before he threw it.
That time they sent 34 Burris and Hackett 56 linebackers. They blitzed 7 people. Buccaneers didn't have enough people to pick them up. Young, realizing that, tried to get the football away too late. They're caught for holding.
Some discussion here with the Chiefs as to the options involved here, whether they'll take the yardage or not. That was a second down play.
72, back 10, second down.
Rob Taylor, the left tackle, charged with the infraction. And they'll march it back almost to the 20-yard line. It'll be second down there. Chiefs lead it 20-13. 13-12 to play in the fourth quarter. Lehman Bennett trying to get win number 2 of this dismal half season that he's had to suffer through, and he didn't sit on his posterior this week. He went out and cut some guys, said, hey, we can win. Kansas City at 4-3 needs this victory over a team they feel they should beat. Flags everywhere again, and something happened there in the count. Rob Taylor may have pulled up a little bit early. He's having his problems out there. Marvin Powell was scheduled to be the left tackle for the Bucks this year. They got him from the New York Jets, but suffered a knee injury, hasn't played for them. And Taylor, a free agent out of the USFL, got the job.
On the center, 72 also moved on a false start.
Misery loves company, so if one goes, let's get some company, make them choose who they want to throw the flag on. Problem that happened that time was they know they've got blitz, and then Young's making an audible, and they're trying to get set for a pass that's coming. That time they got a little bit too anxious, especially Taylor at left tackle.
Well, they backed themselves all the way out to the 25-yard line. Still second down. There were 6 Chiefs up on the line of scrimmage. Still are. Young stands in there. It's batted down. It was Pete Koch, number 74. Got a hand on that pass. It'll be third down. So the Chiefs defensively making it tough on Tampa Bay, trying to get even at 20 all.
Showing blitz just enough to upset the rhythm of Steve Young at quarterback. Showing him blitz, making him think blitz. Now when he drops back, he's thinking, I've got to rush this thing. I'm not going to have enough time. But he did have enough time. They only sent 4 people, but Kid Lather at number 70, or I'm sorry, Coach number 74 did a good job of knocking the ball down.
It is third down. Goal to go from the 25. Slot left. Young gets some time, can't find a man. Now gets it off, and it is incomplete. But flag down. They may get interference, and it was almost inadvertent by Burris on Bell, but I think they're going to get it.
What they're screaming and holler about Kansas City is that Steve Young was in the grass. And they're saying he should have been down right here for a sack. And then the ref says, no way, he got the football off, and now 34 Burris is going to be called for a pass interference.
Boy, that's an unfortunate double set of events there for Kansas City, because if they were right about the grass, then they got whipped up on there, and Burris did not intend to interfere with Bell.
Number 34, first down.
But Bell tried to get back to the ball.
At the top of your screen, you'll be able to see number 34 Burris. Now look, he's behind as the receiver turns around to catch the football. Burris runs into him, but that's not the complaint. The complaint is Steve Young should have been sacked. We had him, but you didn't let us have him.
Well, it turns into a 1st and goal, and the unhappy faithful here at Arrowhead vent their feelings toward Ben Dreif and the Zebras. Wilder. Touchdown, James Wilder. And the Buccaneers pulled to within a point of the Kansas City Chiefs.
You know, it's funny, but I talked to Ben Dreif before the game about the in-the-grass rule, and I said that before the game, they ought to walk into the coaches and say, Coach, do we have in-the-grass rule today? Are the quarterbacks going to be allowed to be quarterbacks, to be tackled and pull away and run and make things happen? I said, you ought to make a rule that you can have that option. And then if they say, yeah, no in-the-grass rule today, that means these guys can hit them. And then you won't have these arguments.
I like that. Each week you could just
walk in there and say, look, is Young, is he live bait today? He is. All right.
Igwe with a point after DeBerg holds, and we have a tie football game. 12:52 to play here in regulation time, and Bell checks the time, saying there's some up there for us to still win it. We'll be back after this word from your local station. I don't know. Hey, we'd like to see that if you got it. You mean you've got it with all this equipment we got today? You got it?
Oh, yeah. If there's ever in the grass, that was in the grass.
Well, I got to get Terry to say, I know he hates the rule, though.
There it is. Now he's got him right there. Look.
Yeah, he's even pulling him. He's dragging him. Yeah, I gotta agree.
There is ever such a thing. That's in the grass.
I hate the rule, but, you know, that's the rule. That's like saying, is the 3 knockdown rule in effect in this fight? Sure, absolutely. I'd like to come back with Bradshaw, too, but I think he went to the wee-wee. He's got this timed out pretty well. This is Kenny updated, right?
Yeah.
We got another thriller here today, guys. We haven't had a dog all season, you know that? We've all been good. Meanwhile, what, Wilder. How long was Wilder's touchdown? 3?
Yay.
Donald Igwe will kick it off as Tampa Bay is tied it at 20. And it's taken by Jeff Smith. And he's got a hole in the middle, nearly broke loose and got to the 35-yard line. So Kansas City starts in good position here at their own 35. Well, we're going to see that play again. And, you know, Terry, I got to agree with you that he was in the grass. I know that you don't really like that rule because you prefer for a quarterback to do whatever he has to do to keep things going, right? Let's go.
I would just, you know, the question is if he's dead in his tracks, okay, blow your whistle. Well, now let's see if Steve Young is dead in his tracks. Now he's tackled here, and before he goes down, he throws a football. I say that's a good play. He's making something happen while he's going down. I say that's a good play.
But you're not debating the fact that under the rule he was in the grasp, and therefore it should have been a penalty.
Right. You're right.
Yeah. And I know you don't like the rule, but you're saying, hey, if it's a rule, then it should have been called.
In that case, yes, but Young was still being an athlete, and going down, he had presence of mind to throw the football. Now, is that wrong? I say that's right, and I think that play was a good play.
So it is Kansas City now with 2nd and 8 on the run by Green for a couple. First down and then some. Page. Make it Henry Marshall, number 89, the veteran from Missouri.
Back to the short side once again. Put the big Henry Marshall, the big guy. Let him go out there. Let him run his routes man for man on Castile. Castile plays off. Marshall he breaks his route off. Kenny gets him the football, turns it up, makes a big play.
23-yard gain, and they're now at the Tampa Bay 42-yard line. They got there quickly because of that good kickoff return.
Tampa Bay needs to stop Kansas City. They need to stop them right now.
Slot left, Page in the slot. Carlos Carson out there, but they go to Marshall on the short side, and Castile puts the tackle on him, but Marshall with a good second effort may have got the first down.
See, what's happening,
and
Tim,
he did.
Is that Marshall back to the short side, forces the strength of the zone back to the left side, and you don't have as many people over there. You're really throwing man-for-man coverage. It's Marshall against Castile with a little help of a linebacker. You just keep doing it. I would throw it again and again until they change the coverage.
At the 32-yard line, a first down. Jeff Smith, touchdown. "32 yards, the missing running game of the Chiefs comes alive. And Jeff Smith, the second-year man from Nebraska, takes it the distance for the score.
You're going to see a deep pitch. Smith by himself. Now he cuts, and boy, good job. Eatman downfield. Irv Eatman, 75, actually knocking out 2 people. And now he just turns on his speed, makes the big lunge, and gets into the end zone. But credit that. Good job by Buddy, the guard, and Eatman, the left tackle, to allow Smith outside and then to outrun everyone and get into the end zone.
Nick Lowry, Mr. Automatic, with the point after. Ready to try to make it a 7-point margin. And he does. So the Chiefs, with an impressive drive and a 32-yard touchdown run by this young man, Jeff Smith, have taken the lead again. Yeah, that doesn't mean I have to go back with that. Yeah. That's, what's his name? Thank you. Well, no, not at this point. I'm looking for something here in the book.
Yeah, also we need to get Makovic on the sidelines, okay? Because I've got a quote here I want to use.
Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw back at Arrowhead Stadium, where the Kansas City Chiefs went 67 yards in 4 plays, using up 2:09 on the clock, and a brilliant run. by Smith to open a 27-20 lead. There's the man of the moment, Jeff Smith.
Gosh, you'd think they would at least take him off the kickoff team and let him be a hero for about 5 minutes.
Short kickoff comes down at the 12-yard line. It is Phil Freeman getting out to about the 25-yard line. Well, they'll spot it upfield closer to the 30. Good return by Freeman, and a reminder that next Saturday CBS Sports puts great games back-to-back. Vinny Testaverde and #1 ranked Miami Hurricanes will host Florida State at the Orange Bowl, 12 noon Eastern time. And then the Lakers and the Houston Rockets, a heated rematch in the season premiere of the NBA on CBS. The Rockets who ousted the Lakers from the playoffs a year ago. And what a way to start our NBA season on CBS. That follows college football next Saturday. First down, Tampa Bay. Wilder spins for about 5 to the 35-yard line. Call it a 6-yard gain for Wilder, 2nd and 4.
Wilder is most effective as a running back when he's up inside the guard and tackle, slashing, diving, picking his hole. The lineman coming off, just engage the guy that's in front of him, and then Wilder is allowed the freedom to go inside or outside.
And they got the wave going at Arrowhead. 35,000 of the faithful. Wilder picks up about 3, takes a tough hit from Dino Hackett, number 56. It'll leave 3rd and about 1.5 yards. Kansas City is not allowed a 300-yard passing day or a 100-yard rushing day in a game. James Wilder easing on up there. 98 yards of rushing. He's got 95 of them. 3rd and a yard. Whoa! Boy, was he hog-tied. Stopped short of the first down, it would appear. Cooper was there, 55, and at the bottom of that stack, number 67, Art Still. And they have stopped the Buccaneers, a big defensive stand. 8:51 to play in regulation time, and Tampa Bay will have to punt.
Art Still stuck out that big right arm and grabbed Wilder right around his neck, and you could see it that when he did that, Wilder's knees just buckled.
Frank Garcia, last time in this spot, a wide snap, had to force him to move left, and then he was dropped by Albert Lewis. Never got the kick off. Jeff Smith back to receive. High punt from Garcia. Fair catch signaled at the 25-yard line. So we are down to 8:13 to play in the 4th quarter. Kansas City leads 27-20.
That guy right there would be good.
Makovic?
Yeah. In the quote he said, that's a shame that this year everybody's measuring us by our wins and losses. Last year they were measuring us by whether or not we made improvement. The difference between this year and last is that our winning and losing has become the focal point of everything. Which is kind of an interesting quote, isn't it?
Well,
I mean, isn't that?
Yes.
I mean, isn't everything?
Well, yeah, but in other words, he's had to, he's given an ultimatum. It's
sure.
a win or else deal. 4th is a 5-year deal. Rusty Martin, the NFL official, says that in the grasp and control of the tackler, would you say he was in control there or not?
We're talking about packed house.
Some members of the Marching Mizzou perched high atop Arrowhead Stadium, and they can pretty much pick their own choice of seats. I don't know what they're up there in the breeze for, Terry. They got a few
Better
empty seats
view.
here. Marching Missouri band entertained at halftime. First down, Kansas City. They have the lead on the ball at their 25. Boyce Green, hard running, picks up 6.
I think those empty seats are a direct indication of why the Mr. Hunt is saying to Coach Makovic, we want a winner here because we've got 40,000 empty seats here, and the only way we're going to fill them up is that we start winning. And John Makovic plainly said, hey, the difference between this year and last year is that the focal point's on winning and losing and not on the improvement of our football team. And to disagree with him, winning and losing is the only thing in the National Football League.
Well, last year they were 3-1, went into a real slide. This year they were 3-1, and they're now up 4-3. On second down, Mike Pruitt met behind the line of scrimmage. No gain at all on the play. And at the bottom of that stack, number 71, Bob Nelson, along with the nose tackle, David Logan. It'll be 3rd and 5. David Logan, the last link to the original Buccaneer group.
Hey, look at this. 14-all, Green Bay, San Francisco.
Raiders whipping up on Houston, and the old Steelers.
Hey, they're back.
That?
They're
Yeah,
back.
Steelers are back. 3rd down. About 4.5 to go. Now for the Buccaneers, a big play here. Kansas City likewise to keep the ball. They've got a 7-point lead from the shotgun. And it's complete for a first down to Jeff Smith, the man who ran from 34 yards out to score the go-ahead touchdown. Jeff Smith.
So much attention is being placed now on the wide receivers, Page and Marshall, that now you can take a running back like Smith and slip him out in these zones and get him open and get 5 or 6 yards out of it.
Now that was a big play for the Chiefs as they maintain possession of first down at their own 38-yard line. 6:17 and counting. 20 first downs for Kansas City to just 13 for Tampa Bay. Stephon Page comes out to the left side. Kenny directing his backs. They give it to Boyce Green, and he is hit at the line of scrimmage and hauled down by Scott Brantley. Gain of a yard.
The enforcer. So many people are given that name because they play linebacker. The intimidator, the enforcer, the lynchman. But Brantley certainly deserves that name. Jeff Davis, his partner over there, is nicknamed the Judge.
Boyce Green limping off after the hit by Brantley. 4-year man from Carson Newman.
What did he tell us the other day? 12 solo tackles. I call up what? A bunch of baby turkeys the other day?
He is an avid outdoorsman, this guy, hunting and fishing. That's what he wants to do as soon as he's off that playing field. 2nd and 9. Short drop by Kenny and incomplete. He threw it behind Stephon Page. Page was rambling up the middle. He was open. Kenny knows it.
Get Page the football in an area like that where the safeties are split and so far apart. You hit him with the football, and you've heard this so many times, but that is a touchdown. There's no one in the middle. He catches that, he's gone forever.
Now Page comes limping back. Castile was a little bit hurt. He was the cover man on the play. 3rd down and 9, so the Bucs have a chance to get the ball back once more with ample time left. They're down by 7. Kansas City obviously wants to keep control, use up this clock. They'll go to the shotgun on 3rd and 9. Pruitt, the lone setback.
Blitz.
Kenny, incomplete. It's dropped by Marshall. He had the first down yardage. The ball was there. He couldn't hold on.
All-out blitz puts 89 Marshall one-on-one with Castile. A good job by Kenny of getting the football. And all you got to do is make the catch. A smart route. 3 yards past the first down marker, turns around, the ball's there. He just simply dropped it.
Lewis Colbert, just his 2nd punt of the game, and we're down to 5:23 to play in regulation time. Bobby Futrell waits for it at the 20-yard line of Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers did the job defensively. Pretty good punt from the 20 and an open field tackle by number 22, Sherman Kokra. 41-yard punt by Colbert, and the Buccaneers will start from their 19 with 5:15 to play.
Kendall, is that you?
He's Bucks, yours Bucks.
Oh, is that you, David? Yeah, right.
Baloney's Pub, right.
That's pretty good. You want to come say a few words?
Is that in Tampa, Andy?
You want to come say something? Why don't you come take this series with Tim?
What's the total yards rushing for Kansas City? Lehman Bennett has scrambled things up there with the Buccaneers, has got his team playing hard and fast today, but they trail by 7. 5:15 to play, regulation time. One thing they're doing better is stopping the rush. In the last 4 games, they've been giving up 246 yards a game against the rush, mainly because of the injuries to Cannon and Holmes. But today, Kansas City with just 125 on the ground against them. But all that matters really is the win-loss column, and the scoreboard leads you to that, and the Bucs are down by 7. They have first down at their own 20-yard line.
He's very candid yesterday. He said a few weeks ago, I thought we were a pretty good football team, going to finish 500, a game under, a game over. He said, now we're just going to try to win some football games. Most important, just try to win some football games.
Steve Young, the quarterback, finally has shed that billion-dollar man image. Flags are down. He gets the ball off, intended for Carter. At least had a guy over there by the name of Gerald Carter. He wasn't going to be able to get the ball to him anyway. But a flag down before he released the pass.
Well, you can expect more blitzing now.
And it's a hold against Tampa Bay. Terry, you know, I think it has been important for Steve Young, who statistically has done real well despite this 1-6 team record, because I think he has gotten that monkey off his back.
Offensive holding, number 66.
Yarno charged with the holding. The feeling that maybe this guy couldn't play in this league. Maybe he was great in the USFL and couldn't do it over here. And they paid him all that money, and he didn't play when he came over last year. And this year couldn't even start the season because he was beat out by Steve DeBerg. But I think since he's gotten in there, he's proven he's an NFL quarterback. It is 1st and 20. Wilder, a lot of running room. Wilder breaks tackles out to the 25-yard line. It'll leave 2nd down and 4 for the Buccaneers. And this, the key drive, 4:56 remaining regulation time.
The second time we've seen this play coming after a pass or a penalty on 1st down. We have an injury. 31, Kevin Ross, is down.
Kevin Ross, 5'9", 182-pounder, down and hurt, and he is one of the valued members of that outstanding secondary, the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, Wilder has rolled up 110 yards today on 24 carries and a touchdown to his credit.
So you've got to say that what they've accomplished coming into this football game or going out of it is the fact, number one, Wilder's back as the main load of the running attack. Done an outstanding job, 100 yards rushing today. Broke one right off the bat in the 1st quarter, so they've done that. Young shows good presence of mind, scrambling, making things happen, primarily out of the pocket. So you've got to say that they've made adjustments, and I think they're good adjustments, and the football team seems to be in good sync.
Kevin Ross being assisted off the field, apparently all right. That'll bring Greg Hill in to replace him, and remember next week, it's Dallas and New York. At the Meadowlands in New Jersey, the Cowboys and Giants, a long and bitter rivalry next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern time, battling trying to catch first place Washington in the NFC East. Cowboys won the first matchup between the two at home. It is second down. It'll be 4 yards to go along 4.
Blitz.
Young scrambling, trying to find a man, and he'll run for it.
Unbelievable.
To the 40-yard line. There's a young man who was bounced off the wall not too long ago.
Unbelievable. You're talking about a great athlete. This guy should have been sacked. Burris comes in from his right side. Steve Young is a left-handed quarterback. He cannot see the right. Now, he noticed he checked Burris blitzing. He knows he's blitzing. Steps up inside, pressured, steps up in the middle, jumps back, now turns on that great speed that all quarterbacks have and gets the first down. Notice I said all.
Boy, I want to tell you, you better mail that to Dan Fouch and a couple others I can think of. First down, Tampa Bay at their own 38-yard line. Wilder stuffed this time as the Chiefs front just stacked up every little gap.
Tim, what I'd like to see him do is get Steve Young outside. That's where he seems to be so dangerous. We've seen him in the Atlanta game where he gets outside and you cross those receivers and he's allowed to pick 1, 2, 3 or then run the football. But it seems that when they drop him back, he has his most pressure and then he's forced to run.
That little moving pocket, we have seen it. They've got it in there. Good job by Eric Holly, number 93, the third-year man from Texas, in for the ill Bill Moss, who came out of the game early. Holly making that last stop for no gain. 2nd and 10. Ross is back in the secondary, left for just one play. Deep drop by Young, and here comes the rush, and they got him.
Radisek.
Scott Radisek, blitzing linebacker, their 3rd sack of the afternoon, the other 2 by Art Still.
Credit the sack again to the secondary of doing an outstanding job of covering Steve Young's receivers. Young had time to throw the football, give that credit to his line, but the inability of his receivers to get open forces this sack. Radisek gets inside number 97 and finally gets Steve Young down.
Well, that was a fine play by Radisek. You saw him read at first. He didn't blitz immediately. Then he saw the opportunity and nobody to cover back there, went for the QB. 3rd down. And it's about 35 yards. 25, we'll call it, at the 25-yard line. Buccaneers with 3:15 on the clock have to make it happen here. Facing defeat number 7. Steve Young asking for a timeout, now discussing something with the referee Ben Drake. Lehman Bennett's also upset about something that the Chiefs are alleged to have done. Timeout has been charged to the Buccaneers.
Well, they're pointing. Steve Young's pointing to the 30-second clock, which is down to 5 seconds. So it very well could be that he's saying that you started the clock too soon or the thing's not right.
Well, discussion there between Lehman Bennett and the referee, and that gives us an opportunity to tell you, running fans, all you morning joggers, to watch America's Marathon from Chicago.
That was us yesterday morning.
That's right. We
Couple
were training
of
for
marathoners.
it, but we had to be here, otherwise we'd be running in
That's
that,
right.
That's right. You're going to see Ingrid Christensen attempting to shatter her own world record. America's Marathon is next here this afternoon on CBS Sports.
She and I do about 15 miles every day, up and down those mountains. Good shape.
From Chicago, a sports special here on CBS.
Yesterday, I noticed yesterday while we were running, what is all this arm movement you were giving me, this punch and lift?
That's my impression of Rocky Balboa, you know. You remember
Rocky's
Rocky
a lot bigger than you, isn't he?
Well, I hope so. Actually, I'm taller than Rocky, but he's just a little heavier.
Gosh.
Sylvester Stallone is short. Did you know that?
Well, they must film low.
That's right.
Shooting up.
You
Huh?
got that
Hey,
right.
I look like Rocky now. Tim's actually standing up,
That's I'm
folks.
standing in a hole. 3rd down at the 25-yard line. Bucks have got to make it happen here. Carter in motion. Young gets it off, incomplete. He ground balled it, intended for Freeman.
He was forced to throw that ball before he wanted to. He stepped up and then he had to rush the football in there.
So they will have to punt. And Kansas City in the driver's seat. 3:04 to play. And an injured player down.
Albert Lewis, number 29, left corner.
Well, both of the cornerbacks have been hurt in this game for Kansas City, although Kevin Ross came right back in after one play. Albert Lewis, the 4-year man from Grambling, chatting with him in the locker room the other day. Players didn't really want to be interrupted in the locker room after practice on Friday. They were watching the Love Connection. And they had that sound cranked up, and they were
all the single guys were watching the Love Connection.
Anyway, Albert, I said, you guys have got a real good secondary. Who's got a better one? He said, I think we're up there with everybody, but I like the Raiders. He said they got a good secondary. San Francisco and St. Louis he had a high regard for. Well, later today, when the football and the marathon are over on CBS, you'll have a full evening of outstanding entertainment. 60 Minutes gets it started. What did a lawyer do to get on 60 Minutes? He defended 1,500 drunk drivers.
That'll work.
I want to get home to hear that. He got them all off. The drunk driver's best friend tonight on 60 Minutes, followed by Angela Lansbury and Murder, She Wrote. And tonight, a CBS movie, Who is Julia? Some outstanding entertainment for you. And the informative 60 Minutes will start it all off. Frank Garcia now, as Albert Lewis has been assisted off and appears to be all right. Garcia standing at his 10-yard line.
There won't be a rush here, so there's a possibility that Garcia could pull something off here. There's not a rush on.
Long count. He got it partially blocked. Kevin Ross, number 31, got a hand on that ball. And Kansas City really in control now. It goes 15 yards to the 40-yard line of the Buccaneers.
Kevin Ross, number 31, freelancing on his own. Everyone else is just doubling their guys up. And then Ross just comes up inside. Now the back is supposed to come out here and help, but Ross does an excellent job of juking the back and getting inside. And believe it or not, blocking this or partially blocking the football.
That was linebacker Kevin Murphy, number 59, out there blocking on the punt team for Tampa Bay. And what a move that little guy put on him. So Kansas City with the lead and the ball and the clock all in their favor. Jeff Smith behind Donnelly, and Addix picks up 3.
Now you will see the go into the running, kill the clock offense, which we have seen this year has been a terrible mistake for a lot of football teams. It's caused some to lose, and it certainly hasn't helped the cause for a lot of people. They go in there, they try to eat the clock up, and they give the team, they get 3 downs, they punt and give the other team a chance to win the football game.
You saw the Raiders well up in front. They would move to 5-3. Kansas City would stay with them at 5-3. Seattle at 5-2 coming into the action today. Denver at 6-1 in the AFC West. 2nd down and 7, and Stephon Page makes the grab at the 15-yard line. Is it complete or not?
No.
No. Unable to keep it from hitting that turf on the way down.
Now, I like that. I like that. Come out, attack this thing, try to make something happen. Hey, that's a good decision.
Flag down back at the line of scrimmage, meanwhile. 2:12 on the clock, and the infraction is going to be against Kansas City.
Offensive holding, number 61, going back 10 at the 2nd down.
Mark Addix.
Addix, number 61, the right guard. As you can see, right arm is out over Keys. Look at this. Oh, that's a good, now that is a good holding job there. But these guys, if you talk to him, you go in and talk to Addix after the game, he'll say, Keys was going to sack my quarterback, and I'm taught to hold and protect him at all count. That time he did a good job of holding Keys.
2nd and 17, they pitch it to Smith. Cuts it back inside, dropped at the 40-yard line. Another flag down. Brantley on the tackle. Keys was there as well, and Keys a little slow to get up.
Kansas City's going the wrong way. They're really playing into the hands of Tampa.
They got 7 yards on the play, but let's see what the flag's about this time.
Holding.
You don't want to have holding on a run. They got the penalty. Kenny over quickly to talk to John Makovic with the official timeout on the field.
Got the judge in there, and I guarantee you he'll make a ruling here.
2:07 on the clock. Jeff Davis talks it over with him. Chiefs going backwards.
Offensive holding 43. They declined a penalty. It's going to be 3rd down.
Mike Pruitt, the fullback, charged with the hold. Declined by Tampa Bay. They'll settle for a 3rd down and 10 at the 40-yard line of the Buccaneers. If they stop this one, they get the ball back with a little under 2 minutes.
By declining the penalty, though, you may have taken Kansas City out of throwing the football 2 times in a row, and with you having one more opportunity to make an interception.
Timeout on the field at the 2-minute warning. So Kansas City trying to stay even with the Raiders, who are apparently en route to win their game, trying to catch Seattle and Denver. They've got 2 minutes to hold that lead.
Doesn't that make sense to you, David? If you take the penalty, of course, we don't know if it's another 10 yards or not. So if they're 2nd and 20, that's more than likely they might throw the football 2 times. You know, it's a shot. What do you say, huh? That's, makes sense to me if they want to throw.
What's going on in that Bear game?
10-7, huh?
Are they putting up others? Yeah, they're putting up others.
10-7.
Yeah. What's going on in the Bear game? You know.
There's a minute left. Bears are down around 15.
133. Yeah.
15.
What? Are you talking about a fill?
Oh, I gotta have my stuff.
How long we got to fill?
Gee whiz. Well, Wilder had the big day.
Yep.
And
Wilder had a big day.
Yeah. Yeah. Wilder and Brantley. Brantley's played awfully well. Brantley's played off. I say we go Brantley.
Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw. We have 3rd down Kansas City at the 40-yard line of Tampa Bay. 2 minutes exactly to play. Kansas City leads by 7. A very important game for the Chiefs. Important to the Bucs, not in the standings, but for morale. Incomplete, intended for Page. 4th down. Now, Terry, will they try and keep the ball here? No, they send the punter out. Colbert. So Tampa Bay will have a last gasp with a little bit of time, enough to do it.
You got to look at the performance of Kenny today and say that Kenny has played a good game. He's thrown passes well, especially deep. He's had some passes drop. And then again, he's missed some guys that were wide open. That time was a poorly thrown football. But overall, I would say that McAfee's decision to start Kenny today has certainly paid off.
15 of 29, 230 yards and a touchdown, 1 interception. The numbers on Bill Kenny, his first start this season. Colbert gets it away from midfield. Bearcat signal, ball bounces not into the end zone. It's going to be down at the 3-yard line. Down there by Lewis Cooper, and Colbert got the comeback bounce on it. And what a play. What a difference that could make in this final drive. A 37-yard punt. Where are they going to spot it? Did you see a flag, Terry?
Well, they've got one down
far
side on the 5-yard line.
There is a flag down.
Illegal use of the hands on number 80. We're going to go half the distance to the goal.
Well, my goodness, for the Buccaneers, just a little bit worse. They'll start from their 1-yard line.
David Williams, young man that was actually placed on waivers by the Bears, picked up by Tampa, has shown marked improvement, I think. That time, no improvement there. 3 yards, 2 yards. What's the difference now? Actually, they wanted the ball out on the 20-yard line.
And they didn't get the bounce. The Chiefs got the bounce. And they've got the opportunity to close it out here. Young will start 99 yards away from forcing overtime. From his end zone. Complete. Jerry Bell.
All right, up. Now run up to the line of scrimmage. Set your football team. 143 and counting. Good job. Little quick passes there, Tim. Get in the seam, set it down. Young, get the football to him.
At the 20-yard line, first down, Tampa Bay. Marleyveld in at tackle, the rookie from Maryland on the right side. Pressure from Still, and Still with his third sack of the day. The ball is loose, but it is dead. It'll be Tampa ball, but another sack by Art Still. Koch picked up the loose ball, but play had been whistled dead.
One of the problems you'll have in a passing situation is the fact you have to put two people on the most dangerous pass rusher, and that would be Still. Coming from the outside on your right, there's no one on him. One guy actually handles two players that time. Number 7, as you saw on the inside, does a good job, Lathrop, of tying up to the guard and the tackle.
Yeah, Marleyveld stayed with Lathrop. From the goal line, he gets it off complete to Carter. Carter breaks one tackle and then finally pulled down by Kevin Ross back at the 20-yard line again. But this time, third down. 52 seconds on the clock, and timeout is called. So the Bucs are running out of precious seconds again. They trail by 7.
Well, Lathrop tied up two people that time and still came around.
Yeah, Marleyveld didn't need to double team him.
No.
He needed to take Still.
Shove him off and come back.
He's a rookie. I don't know whether Heller's hurt. We didn't hear anything. Lehman Bennett so often has had to look at these situations in his brief tenure as coach of the Bucs. He's got a third down at the 20-yard line. 52 seconds left to play, trying to force overtime.
You have to say the Chiefs are well accustomed to this position, as last week 65 passes were thrown against them. 37 of them were for completions. They're used to teams dropping back in this AFC Western Division and throwing the football.
Chiefs trailed at halftime 13-10, moved ahead 20-13 in the third quarter, and now lead 27-20. Young in trouble again, is dropped for another sack. The 5th of the day by the Kansas City Chiefs. Leonard Griffin, the rookie from Grambling, just activated for today's game, and Pete Koch, the veteran coming over from Cincinnati. So it is fourth down. Of course, they'll have to go 40 seconds and counting down. Young trying to get the play organized on the field. Gets some time. Now running out of it. Still going. Hit from behind by Art Still again.
Frustrating. Very frustrating for Steve Young. Doing everything he can, trying to make something happen, just asking for a little bit of a time. There's only 4 guys rushing. You got to give your quarterback time to win these football games for, and you can't do it when he's running all over the field.
This is a nice little touch here. Deron Cherry, Steve Young, Kevin Ross exchanging handshakes here, appreciating what a day he gave them.
Well, Steve Young's, he could care less about handshakes right now. We've been around him enough to know that he doesn't want to do that. He wants to win, and he's disappointed that everybody else around him won't rally up and rise to the occasion and help him win this football game.
He's going to sleep well tonight, that young man. So Kansas City with the football will just finish this thing off. 22 seconds on the clock. Kenny, and for the Chiefs, an important victory today. They've got some tough games ahead of them, but they will move to 5-3, keeping pace with the Raiders, who were well in front of the Houston Oilers last we looked, and in contention to catch Seattle and perhaps Denver in the AFC West. So there's a disappointed Steve Young, tired of losing as they head back to Tampa Bay at 1-7. And we'll be back here in Kansas City with the Chiefs, the winners, 27-20.
Hello, Bill.
Yes.
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry, how you doing?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was a much-needed win for our team.
No kidding. I tell you, it was the big passes were there. At last, we had one of them knocked down. Castile made a great effort, or that would have been another big play to Page.
Well, I think what happened on that is I expected a blitz. I told Stefan to take the middle quickly, and I think there was just a misunderstanding. He took kind of a cross, and I tried to overthrow it, and the guy that made the play was coming off Henry Marshall. A superb play.
Yeah, I didn't realize you tried to overthrow it. Doggone, it would have been, would have been maybe a touchdown.
Are we going to record this? Oh, okay. We're going to record this, right?
All right.
Okay. Back here at Arrowhead Stadium, where the Kansas City Chiefs defeated Tampa Bay to move to 5-3. And Bill Kenny, in his first start this season, 15 of 29, 230 yards and a touchdown, with one interception today, and was the field leader, leading Kansas City to a win over the very tenacious Buccaneers. Bill Kenny is down on the sideline, and Bill, I know that you were glad to be back in there. You were waiting for the opportunity, patiently or impatiently, however you want to put it. How did you feel you threw the ball today?
Well, I don't feel that I was very effective, really, in my passing. I was very happy with our team, the way they rallied around me. They gave me a lot of support. I think our offensive line took the attitude, hey, we're going to help Bill out today. The wide receivers, I'm sure, are happy. They got some passes downfield. I had a little trouble early, but I'm not sure what that was attributed to. I expect to perform much better next week.
Bill, you had a couple of long bombs to Page that certainly made a difference today.
Oh, yeah, Stefan Page, I call him the leaper. He does some amazing things, and he gets into amazing positions to catch the ball. Hopefully I'll be able to do that much more often in the future.
Bill, Terry Bradshaw, you told us the other day that the thing you'd like to do is come out and run the football, and today you got the big play from Smith, but are you pleased overall with the way your football team ran the football today?
Well, Terry, I'm much more pleased with the way our offensive line approached the game. We did have quite a few 4- and 5-yard runs during the course of the game. I'm not sure what our total yardage was running, but it was a start, and of course the big play by Smith topped it all off. I'd like to see us get a little more aggressive. The enthusiasm was good. The first time back for me in the team lineup, and I think the team approached it very well, and they really helped me out a lot.
How about, Bill, how about the touchdown pass to Page? Could you describe it for me, and were you surprised that Page even was able to catch that football?
Well, I knew in previous setups that the guy was all over Stefan, and whether I get a pass interference or get a touchdown, that's what I was looking for. The guy came off, played Stefan well. Rather than throw it high, I tried to drill it in the corner, threw a little lower, and I thought Stefan Page does that type of thing constantly. He made a great catch. We were in a setup, we'd run the ball, so I kind of suggested a motion over coach with my fingers what to call. He thought I was calling a different play, but he was happy with the outcome.
Really?
Yeah. I guess so. All right, Bill. Well, your team very much in the thick of it in the AFC West, moving to 5-3, keeping pace with the Raiders who won today. We wish you good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.